we're going to do we're going to go through this quickly because we are going to stay on time. So here we go. As you can see on the screen, you have joined the Board of Realtors. And the question is like, what is a Board of Realtors? I got my license. Somebody said I had to go do this. I really don't know what's going on. Or, well, they told me I had to join so I can get the MLS. Well, it's more than the MLS. The board, as you can see on the screen, we are a three-tiered organization, the National Association of Realtors, and then they chartered each state, and then from there, each local association. There can be as many local associations that they want to reach out and they want to start something locally. Four Rivers it covers 5 counties, Comel, Guadalupe, Hayes, Caldwell, and Gonzales. We used to be 3 separate boards, the Seguin Board of Realtors, the San Marcos Board of Realtors, and the New Braunfels Canyon Lake Association of Realtors. And they merged together as one. One of the reasons for merging is better buying power, better able coverage area for less, where you can provide more services for less money. We started the Central Texas MLS in 2000. So our board is 4 Rivers. That's the 3 that came together, 4 Rivers Association of Realtors. And our MLS is Central Texas MLS. So just so you kind of see that. And as you can see by the dates on there, how long everything's been chartered. Lisa, we can go to the next screen. All right. So the National Association of Realtors puts down in their bylaws the things that everybody has to follow. And then there's state bylaws and then there's local ones. Bylaws are voted on by the members themselves. And then our policies and procedures are voted on by our elected officials. So Stephanie is our board president, and we have 13 directors, officers and directors. And so they kind of do the day-to-day of what the association is what are the rules and regulations of the association. Everything from how much our dues are, when the dues billing goes out, what committees we're offering, just kind of all of that stuff that they offer. But one of the things that the National Association of Realtors is again, everything flows down. They were the very first, as you can see on the screen, they were the very first people to adopt a codification of ethics. Prior to that, there wasn't anything. And, that old saying, and I'm going to kind of butcher this a little bit, but, I got what is that? I got swampland that I want to sell you, and it's basically, it was just, nothing was out there protecting the consumer. Everything was based on the seller. They got everything they wanted, and the buyer just got stuck. All right. So they adopted the first code of ethics in 1913. This is a picture of what that looked like, and it was just like a trifold. It just opened up. The one thing that you want to keep in mind, you're licensed by the state. TREC does your licensing. The National Association of Realtors has nothing to do with your license, other than that you must be licensed to be a member. So a realtor is different from a non-member, a licensed person, somebody who's licensed to practice real estate, in that they voluntarily, as you see, subscribe to a strict code of ethics. That is not saying that a licensee doesn't have a code of ethics. TREC has its ethics. You're just volunteering to a stricter code. It's comprised of 17 articles and standards of practice, which you will cover in the new member ethics class that you'll take, and that's a Zoom class online. It's about 2.5 hours long. When you get it done, you'll have to let LaDawn know so that we mark you off as having achieved this requirement. Everything in the Code of Ethics is divided into 3 sections. Duties to the client and customer, which again was kind of what got the whole thing started. Okay. Duties to the public and duties to realtors. Everything falls into those 3. And we police ourselves. So we not only voluntarily adhere to this code of ethics that everybody's following, but we are our own judges and jury. So if something happens, it's on us, because this is a reputation business. It's on us to make sure that not only are we adhering to the code of ethics, but that our peers are also adhering to the code of ethics. If you ever have an issue, Lisa, we can go to the next slide. if you ever have an issue, your first course of action is always to go to your broker. Always go to your broker first. If you feel that you need to, that there's something going on that you want to file a complaint or anything, then call me and I will walk you through and get you connected to the people that will take care of this. Now, the National Association of Realtors believes so strongly in the Code of Ethics, it is the core of what they do, that they have a requirement that every realtor, no matter what state they're in, that every realtor completes on an every 3-year basis the Code of Ethics training. Now, LaDawn, she's very diligent with this. We offer these classes so that you can get CE credit. We even offer them free, but so that you get this in. Now, for you taking it now as a new member, that satisfies getting it in for this current cycle. So for you, you have to understand that this is separate from TREC's requirement for licensing. LaDawn's going to be emailing everybody starting in January of 24 who has not had this yet to let them know. And she'll email them every month. You got to get this in. You got to get this in. We offer it through Zoom. We'll offer it in person. You can go on to NAR's website and just sign up and take it. It's free if you want to take it without CE credit online with NAR, or you can sign up and get CE credit with it also. But you must take this. You'll do this your entire career, every 3 years. As you can see, the other future times are on there. But this is serious enough that if it isn't done on January 1, everything gets turned off. And that's why LaDawn's so diligent in that last year to give everybody those reminders. And if you've already done it, you're not going to get contacted. But if you haven't done it, it's going to be a constant reminder to get it in, because you cannot be a realtor member without it. All right, so then the next one. So as I said to you, that if you have something comes up that you believe somebody has violated one of the Code of Ethics, articles of the Code of Ethics, your first thing is to always contact your broker. We offer through this process, we offer an ombudsman program. It doesn't cost you anything. And these are volunteers that work at the state level. And the state actually, we get everything started at the local level, but the state is actually handling our professional standards hearings. We have individuals like you who have decided to serve on professional standards. And so everything is done by a panel of your peers. We also have, once you file an ethics complaint, if the ombudsman wasn't able to resolve it, that you can go ahead and file the complaint. There's certain timelines with this, so you have to pay very close attention. You do have to be able to articulate what has been done and which article has been violated, okay? So that you let someone know. I mean, if you're going to accuse someone, you got to be able to say what they did. Now, during that process, you're going to know the outcome. You're part of the process, just like a court hearing. You're part of the process. But there are, as like anything, it takes some time to go through this. You want to make sure you're doing your due diligence. Everybody is presumed innocent until proven guilty. We don't want to just arbitrarily, be slapping people with fines or education trainings or the loss of their membership without going through a good process to make sure. Sometimes that process can take 6 months. Now, we do have an anonymous complaint citation program that Texas Realtors has created, so that there are certain articles of the Code of Ethics that if that's an article that has been violated, I gotta find another word besides violated. I guess I just didn't think about that. But broken, one of the articles of the Code of Ethics, that you can have Texas Realtors become the complainant. The other person will never know that you filed a complaint. So if you file the ethics complaint, you have a right to know who your accuser is. So that person will know you. Under the anonymous one, Texas Realtors can become the actual complainant. It's only under certain articles though. So you kind of have two ways you can go with this, because people have complained. Maybe they're in the middle of a deal and they don't want to do this because they're afraid it's going to rupture, damage the deal. But you're on a timeline of when things have to happen. So you may not be able to wait until that's over. The only time I've ever heard people don't care about it is when it's Article 17, and that has to do with their commission. And then they don't care. Gloves off, they're ready to take it on. But for other things, whether it's having to do with any of the other articles, then a lot of times people are more hesitant, and the anonymous complaint works for them. You will not know what the outcome is, so just be aware of that. But it is self-policing, and of course, arbitration is the one with Article 17 that has to do with money. So that's kind of our code of ethics. You're going to go, when you take the class, you'll go into what all the articles are. This just lets you know how that process starts. So this kind of does that. All right, Lisa, next screen. All right, now the other thing that NAR is very, very big on, code of ethics and the realtor trademark. We have a short, quick little video here that they've done on the realtor trademark and protecting it.
As you know, the real estate world can be really competitive. Standing out in a crowded market is crucial, but staying authentic while setting yourself apart is really the key to success. If you're a member of the National Association of Realtors, you use the Realtor mark to get eyes on you and your business and ensure those eyes see you as an honorable partner and trusted advisor. The Realtor mark means that you are more than a real estate agent. It signifies that you adhere to a code of ethics and that you are committed to protecting clients, the public, and other real estate professionals. It also tells people that you conduct business with integrity and provide high standards of real estate services. To ensure all members get the benefits of the mark, it's important that all members use it correctly. When it is used incorrectly, it diminishes the unique meaning of the mark and its value. Here's a few simple rules to help us preserve, promote, and protect the meaning and value of the mark for years to come. 1. Don't use Realtor as a synonym for real estate agent. Realtor only means member of the National Association of Realtors. That's something special that differentiates you and the services you provide. 2. Because Realtor identifies you as a member of NAR, you should use the mark with your name or the name of your firm. For example, Sally Rodriguez or Sunshine Realty. Remember to use all uppercase letters and the registration symbol to convey the special meaning of the mark. 3. Don't use Realtor with descriptive wording or as a job title. Using the mark like this implies it refers to anyone in real estate, regardless of NAR membership. For example, your hometown Realtor is incorrect, even if you are a member of NAR. Remember, Realtor means member, so it doesn't make sense to say your hometown member. No matter where the term Realtor is used, whether on a brochure or a website or in a social post or an ad, using it correctly preserves, promotes, and protects the value for all members. With a little help from Realtors everywhere, all NAR members can continue to count on the meaning of the mark to help distinguish themselves and convey credibility and their commitment to serving clients and the community for years to come.
Okay, so just a couple of things right here. All right. Realtor means member of NAR. Realtor only has 2 syllables. Real, tor. Real, tor. Not realtor. Real, tor. Realtor should always be capitalized, as they explained, and you can follow it with the trademark symbol when possible. The Realtor logo has design standards that should be followed when communicating to the public. And of course, punctuation is key when using the word Realtor. Now, there's a member mark book that's like this thick. We're just giving you just the highlights on this. But one of the things that we're doing, as I told you earlier, we have narrowed our new member orientation down to a half a day. Now, there are things that the National Association of Realtors requires us to make sure that we let all members know. And in trying to get a ton of this information in, our new member orientation had gotten to where it was a full day. Now, the problem with that is that by 2 o'clock, you're brain dead. All right. And by 4 o'clock, you've checked out. I mean, it's there. So we've got all this great information and it's missing the mark. Okay. So what we're doing this year, Lisa, can you say hi real quick? So everybody sees you.
Hello, everyone. Good morning.
Lisa is our Director of Marketing and Communications. Okay. And so I wanted you to see who this, because when we're talking about, one of the things we're going to get is that we're going to be sending out a once a week drip campaign that's going to take you literally 2 minutes to read. We're taking all of the information that we were cramming into the other half of the day, and we're going to disseminate it in small bites throughout the year. So one of the things that'll come in will be information about the member mark, about the realtor trademark. So we're going to take and just put them into small bites for you. So, but in the meantime, if you do any kind of marketing, if you're going to print anything, Lisa or myself, either one, but Lisa is the Director of Communications and Marketing, so I kind of defer to her. If you're not sure, swing it past her. Because the one thing you don't want to do, and we've had to do this before, people have done printouts for like pins or little tchotchke stuff, and they use the member mark incorrectly, and we had to ask them to not disseminate it. So that's a lot of wasted money. We don't want that to happen. So if you're just not sure, whether it's a signature or it's any kind of printed materials, you can reach out to Lisa, and she will be glad to let you know if it hits that, because she's got that book down. All right. So like I said, that old thick book, she got it down. So she's your go-to girl. All right.
Absolutely. Love to help you guys.
Politically correct. She's your go-to person. So I'm working on training this old dog new tricks. Okay. And I can call myself an old dog. I don't care if it's politically correct or not, because it's me. All right. So anyway, just wanted to give you that heads up on that. So understand the core of your membership has to do with the code of ethics and the realtor trademark. Okay. And that's right there. Okay. So then, Lisa, the next screen, we now go into antitrust. And I'm sure that you guys have talked about this before within your pre-licensing. NAR has done a very nice job with a very short 3-minute video on antitrust. And let's go ahead and play that, Lisa.
Sorry, this is a new video. First time loading it.
Oh, and what you guys can do anytime after today, you are welcome to come by the office. We have the little the little Realtor R pin for you, along with a few other little tchotchke things. So anytime you come in, I'd love to have you come in and meet everybody. Check out the board store that we have here. So much of our onboarding is done now virtually that we miss that person-to-person time. So if you have time, you're in green, please come in and get your pin, even if you don't have time to, walk around and see all the wonderful things we try to provide for you.
Now this is an internet issue now.
This is an internet issue. Okay.
Browser.
So why don't we do this? Why don't we go to I'll discuss fair housing, and then we can switch over back to antitrust if we can get if we can get it to come up while we talk about fair housing. So, as you can see on the screen here, the other side of this, of course, we have antitrust and we have fair housing. And as you can see, we kind of have the local broker marketplace fosters competition. All right. Realtors, as it says, are, mostly small business owners, independents. There is the multiple listing service, which is an independent local marketplace that provides innovation, and my typing is bad here. It makes it possible for residential real estate businesses of all types and sizes to compete. It levels the playing field. Doesn't matter if you are, a brokerage of 1 or a brokerage of 5,000. It's the same field. Where fair housing helps with the consumer, as you can see here, local brokerage marketplaces create the largest, most efficient, and most convenient markets that ensures equity, transparency, and market-driven prices for home buyers and sellers. It advances affordability provides the largest home sale source. It leads the world as far as how fair housing does. Creates consumer choice, sources reliable data, okay, ensures equity, and supports competitive compensation. There's a lot of lawsuits right now going on. NAR, you can go into their website and you can monitor them and how they're going, where there's a lot of attacks coming in on what we do as a profession, you know. So just kind of keep that in mind. Lisa, can we go to that next screen? Okay. Sorry, and I apologize for the previous screen was having to do with the antitrust. On fair housing, and you just pop me in when you're ready to go, Lisa, and the other. This is the Fair Housing Declaration that NAR has come up with. And so it would just kind of read through this real quick because I think this is really important. This is basically, as a realtor, you are agreeing to provide equal professional services without regard to race, color, religion, which you can read there. All right. You are going to be kept informed about fair housing law and practices, improving your client and customers' opportunities to do business. And when later, Lisa's going to show you how to navigate the NAR and TAR websites. They have more on here than you have time to read. It is a gold mine of information. And of course, I love the fact nowadays some people just take this, for granted. Because I mean, when I was young, we didn't even have cell phones. So, having that handy computer right there all the time. I get stopped somewhere. I've got 5 minutes. I can go in and look at something. It's amazing what we have at our fingertips now. So it's easy to keep informed. Develop advertising that indicates that everyone is welcome, that no one is excluded. This is important. We can't just take this for granted. We need to actually be proactive on this. Inform your clients and customers about their rights and responsibilities under the fair housing laws. Provide brochures and other information. And again, there's stuff on NAR that you can actually print. You can order it, but you can also print it and then hand it out as needed or use it in a digital method. So you can provide for very little expense. Lisa, the next one. Document your efforts to provide professional services. You're your own best cheerleader. So don't shy away from that. Refuse to tolerate noncompliance. I know that sounds kind of weird, but here, just in New Braunfels, and this has been maybe 10 years ago, but we actually had an agent that had to not work with someone because they basically, when they did their interview with them, they only wanted certain people in their home. That was they had certain people they did not want in their home, and the agent had to walk away. And that's not an easy thing to do, but they had to explain to them they could not do it that way. So even here, we may not be Houston or Chicago, but even we have this issue here. So be aware that it can crop up, and how are you going to handle it? Think about it ahead of time. Learn about the differences in people. I think that's really good, and to celebrate those differences. And I think we're getting really good about doing that. Take a positive approach to fair housing. All right. Follow the spirit as well as the letter of the law, and develop and implement a fair housing practice for your firm to carry out. So even if you're not the broker of your firm, find out what your firm's doing with this. If they're not doing something with it, lead the charge. Why not? Okay. So again, this is something you're taking on once you got your license. Okay. But once you become a realtor, you're agreeing to take this on. This becomes you. As I said earlier, this is a reputation business. All right. Or a reputation industry, a reputation profession. It's very easy for people. And I get calls all the time. Somebody had a bad experience with an agent, and they just assume everybody's this way. So then they start looking for somebody that's going to stand out ahead and shoulders above the rest because they just assume everybody else is doing this. And I always have to tell them that, I can't give them a specific person. We represent all of our members, not just one. But this is what the consumer's thinking. So keep in mind, when we talked about the professional standards, code of ethics, you are protecting your own personal reputation by staying on top of what everyone is doing within this industry and profession. All right, Lisa, have we gotten anywhere on that antitrust?
No, I'm so sorry. The NAR website is down. It won't let me.
Okay, well then we will we'll just move forward. What we'll try to do is if we can get the link, we'll try to send it to y'all so that you can do it. Like I said, it's 3 minutes and it's a very good one. So I'm a little bit past where I was trying to be, but I'd like to go ahead and again, keep in mind, you're going to get that once a week email that'll be coming out, and we'll be putting stuff in here. It'll be by the end of the year, you will be just gurus when it comes to this. So with that, I'd like to introduce Casey Lee. He is our Governmental Affairs Director. Casey?
Yes, I'm here.
Awesome. I am going to turn this over to you. I know I'm a little past time, so what we'll do is, if you don't mind, I've got 9:52. If you'll go until 10:20, go to 10:25.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Put me in handcuffs here.
Yes, I'm so sorry. This is going to be new for all of us, guys, because we've just got so much great information to share, and we've got just a window to give it to y'all.
That's right. I'm in good company. I've got lots of Casey's in here to help back me up.
You do. You do.
They raise their head. All right, good. I am Casey Lee. I'm the Government Affairs Director for the Four Rivers Association of Realtors. Prior to doing this, and you'll see on the screen, the bottom left-hand corner, we have a Central Texas field rep. That person works for Texas Realtors, and prior to doing this role here at the local association, I did that role. So I worked for the state association. Prior to that, I worked for TreePack. I'll talk about TreePack a little bit more later. Prior to that, I was a realtor. I was actually a realtor with the San Marcos Board of Realtors, which is one of the boards that came together to form the Four Rivers Association of Realtors. And I have lived in every county that our board represents. So I'm very familiar with our area. I'm familiar with you as a realtor. I've been in your position as a new realtor. And let me tell you, when I took this session, you didn't have to do it. It was not really told to me that you should do this right off the bat like y'all are doing. I mean, somebody is in here, you get your license 2 weeks ago, I heard. Who was that? Just raise your hand. Rebecca and Lana, y'all both got your license 2 weeks ago. I waited to do this session until I had been in business for, what was it, 6 months at the time. You had to get it within 6 months or a year. I see, it's been so long ago that I don't remember now. And I waited, and by the time I took the course, it was all the stuff I learned in the course. I went, why didn't I do this early on? Why didn't I do the? There's so much stuff that I'm getting here out of this that I could have used 6 months ago, a year ago. I could have used before I got into bad deals, before I started dealing with bad people. One of the things that I would have learned out of this course, and Regina mentioned earlier, this is a really hard thing to do, is sometimes you have to say no to a client. You have to walk away because they're not right for you. Learn that early on. And if you say no to a client and they get mad at you because you won't break the law, that's not the right person for you. So it's not the right client for you. So I am Casey Lee. I'm the Government Affairs Director, and I'm going to tell you some of the stuff that we do as an association and you do as a realtor to advocate for you, your profession, your clients, your community. We represent 5 counties, as Regina mentioned, and we have government affairs committees for 4 out of those 5 counties. And then I do have realtors like yourself in Gonzales County, where we don't have a committee yet, that I talk to on a weekly basis, or as stuff comes up. And what is going on out there? Melody, you mentioned that you've got a property for sale out in Lockhart. Just this last year, back in June, we started our Caldwell County committee, Government Affairs Committee. And I am blown away. I knew development was coming out there, that Lockhart, that not just Lockhart, but Caldwell County was growing, just like all 5 of our counties are growing. But after getting that committee up and running and getting very involved out there, I'm blown away at the level of growth and development and population boom that's going on out there, and the impact it is having with our local elected officials and our government bodies out there. And so we are getting very involved out there. But the same can be said for all of our GA committees. I liaise a bunch of committees, and so government affairs committees are just part of them. And in each of our counties, you'll see on the screen who is in charge. Those are the chairs of those committees. Feel free to reach out to any of them if you are in the area, if you want to be part of a committee, if you hear of an issue going on. So just for example, in Hays County, where we talk about rental are a big issue, growth, especially coming out of the northern Hays County area. And as we, for a long time, I live up in North Hays County, and so for a long time we had a lot of growth up in San Marcos area, but not a whole lot out around the rim. And then we had a lot of growth out all of a sudden in Kyle about 10 years ago, just exploded. And then it kind of died down a little bit, and then it exploded. It was all the people coming out of Austin that couldn't afford to live in Austin, but wanted to be in that kind of area. And so they skipped over my town of Buda, and they went to Kyle, and then they went to, and then they kind of, they went to San Marcos, and they kind of filled in Kyle, but they were still skipping over. Well, now all of a sudden people have kind of perked up and said, wait a minute, what about this little community that's even closer to Austin, but nobody's really discovered it. So now in the last, I would even say 2 to 3 years, my little town of Buda has exploded. And we are facing some problems. And realtors need to be involved, and we are involved in our having the discussion, how to solve some of these problems, especially transportation and infrastructure, big issues for us. But over in Guadalupe County, Guadalupe County is growing, just like all the rest of our area. Seguin proper in the last year gained over 2,000 people. Yeah, they went from a 30,000 population to a 32,000. I'm sorry. I'm gonna fix that. They went from a 30,000 population in 2020. They're at 36,000 population, over 6,000 people in 2 years. Yeah, exploding out there. So we're looking for property values are a big issue. Property taxes. When you talk about raising property values, you talk about raising property taxes. Big issues for us. Those are all different issues we face in different areas. Now you notice they overlap, and we talk about the same issues no matter where we are. We have all of these committees, including our tree pack committee, and I'll talk about tree pack later. Answer to what is called a legislative management team, and our legislative management team is the same as our chair is the same as our Guadalupe County chair, because the legislative management team chair, these are member-driven organizations. We can't do this without y'all, and so our chair for that committee is chosen from the chairs of our other government affairs committees because they know what they're doing. We also have some state representatives. And when we say state here, we're not talking about Texas. Unless we specify otherwise, we're not talking about the state of Texas. We're talking about Texas realtors. When we use the ambiguous term state, most often we are talking about Texas realtors. The 3 organizations that you're part of: Four Rivers Association of Realtors, Texas Realtors, and National Association of Realtors. If I just say state, I'm talking about Texas realtors. So we have some state representatives. Our TreePack trustee, Peggy Jones, our political involvement committee member is Melissa Walls. Those are both state appointed positions. And those are a big deal. People from all over our region, in this case, members from all over our region apply for those positions. And it's a big deal to be on one of those committees. Those are two-year appointments, and you can go for 2 sessions. And then our Central Texas Field Rep, I used to do this job. It's a new person. It's Matt Lapina. You'll meet him as we go on. But that is our representative, our direct representative to Texas Realtors. If I have questions, and very often I do, I call him, and we have good discussions about what are Texas Realtors doing about this issue. And where do I get those questions? I get them from you, which is why at the very top, my email address is up there, but also my phone number is up there, and that's my cell phone number. I don't have y'all call. You can call the office. It'll route to wherever I am, but I put my cell phone number out there. Y'all want to be easy to contact for your clients. I want to be easy to contact for you. So there's my cell phone number. If you come across an issue that's government affairs related, reach out to me. If you come across an issue that you just don't know who to reach out to me. And yeah, if it's education related, I'll say, hey, you really need to talk to LaDawn about that. If it's member benefits related, you need to talk to Lisa about that. And I'll point you in the right direction. I'll give you their contact info, and make sure you get where you need to go. We're a team here. Next slide, please. So advocacy is not just political. It is, you have now subscribed to a code of ethics, as we mentioned earlier, and the preamble. So before you even get into the code of ethics, the preamble to the code of ethics is, and this is adopted by National Association of Realtors and every level as you go down. But the preamble says some duties that you are now responsible for. And I've got a bunch highlighted here, but I'm going to skip to one specific part in the last paragraph there. Realtors continuously strive to become and remain informed on issues affecting real estate, and you willingly share the fruit and experience of your experience and study with others. Y'all are now in charge, not just with yourselves, but with your clients, with your communities, with your fellow realtors. You are in charge of gathering knowledge and sharing it with others. That's your job now. And that's what realtors do best. You gather knowledge about, it can be property, it can be about what's going on in your community, what's going on with the government, what laws are changing that's going to affect that piece of property, and how it can be used. Your job is to gather that knowledge and share it with those who need to know, which is why we have these government affairs committees. And a lot of times in these government affairs committees that we have guest speakers come in. It can be a county judge. It can be an election coordinator. It can be the city manager, the county engineer. We have people come in and tell you what's changing in your area and what do you need to know about, what do your clients need to know about that's going to affect development and business and growth and property rights. It all comes back to property rights. That's what, and I'll talk about that a little bit more, but it all comes back to protecting private property rights. That's what we do as realtors. Next slide, please. So we mentioned there are 3 levels. Federal is NAR, state is Texas Realtors, unless I say the state of Texas. And if I just use the word state, I'm talking about Texas Realtors, and the same will happen with the rest of everybody else in here. And then local, that's us. That's us at Four Rivers, and we have government affairs TreePack committees. We have in government affairs, we have what's called I like to call the 4-legged stool. And that 4-legged stool is made up of issues mobilization, and that's when we find an issue and we take action on it. We support it, we oppose it, we get you as a member educated about it, and we can reach out to our elected officials and say, hey, we need to change this, we need to support it, we need to oppose it, we need, here's how it's affecting private property rights. We have our political affairs. Our political affairs are direct interactions with elected officials. That can be supporting a campaign, that can be bringing them in to speak to our members. That is developing relationship with elected officials. Our public policy, those are our stances on issues, and whether before an issue comes up, we have a public policy stance on it. And after we're not omniscient here. So after an issue comes up, if we haven't discussed it before, we will discuss it and form public policy about it. That way, everybody knows, how do the realtors feel about this issue? It's very clear how we feel about it. And ultimately, it's going to come down to, how are we protecting private property rights? Your ability to buy, sell, lease, and use property to the highest and best use of that property. And that's where our public policy is going to focus. And then TREAPAC is is the way we raise funds to support candidates who are going to support our issues. And again, I'll talk about TREAPAC a little bit later. Next slide. So national, state, and local realtors associations, I talked about the 3 different levels. We advocate for 1.5 million realtors across the nation. We have 1,600 here in our association, roughly. Right now, about 1,600. We have 150, roughly 1,000 members at the state level. So Texas Realtors. We are active, involved, knowledgeable, and engaged. And because of that, we are one of the most effective advocacy organizations in the country. We also stay in our lane. Private property rights, small business. That's how we, when we go to talk to somebody who's going to make a law, propose a law, when we go in, they know what we're going to talk about. Some of our issues are fair housing. We already discussed fair housing. What's today? Fair housing and the laws that affect fair housing. One of our issues. National flood insurance program. Yes, national. We also have state flood insurance program called TWIA. That's another issue for us. But flooding. And you may think, who has been here in our area, Four Rivers covered area? Who here has been in a flood in Four Rivers so far? I should see almost all hands go up. I've been here for I went to high school in New Braunfels. I was in 2 floods while I was there. San Marcos had floods a couple of years back. Flooding affects all areas, not just the coast, not just next to rivers. We cover 5 areas, but and most of them are around rivers. So we are a little more prone here, but our entire state suffers flooding. It's a big issue for us. Healthcare reform. Y'all have jumped into a profession that until very, very recently, unless you had another job or unless you had another spouse or something, or somebody that had healthcare as part of as a benefit, y'all are independent contractors and you didn't have healthcare. Healthcare was expensive, so you had to find another way to get it, either on the open market or through a spouse or loved one. And very recently, talking a couple of months now, we have now been approved, and this was a long fight. We've been fighting for this actively fighting for this for about 5 years now, that I know, that I was actively involved in when I was in Texas Realtors. And y'all now have a healthcare option. It is a member benefit. It's a little confusing to go into the weeds on that one, on how you actually get it. But it's a member benefit, and it's easy to get. Let me say that how we got there, we had to go through some rigmarole to get there. But ends up being it's a group plan, member benefit. You can join now. If you join now, if you need healthcare now because you jumped into this with both feet and you don't have another position that offers it as a benefit, offers healthcare as a benefit, you can get it now. It'll take 1 month to kick in, but that is a huge deal, because I was talking to a member recently who was talking about they paid $2,500 a month for their healthcare, and that is absolutely insane, because they didn't have another option. They were single. They were a full-time realtor, and so they had to buy it on the open market. It was $2,500 a month. Now they have an option because it's part of the member benefits, part of a group plan. It's much less expensive now. I mentioned transportation and infrastructure, a couple big issues, and tax reform. people feel that if you have people being elected officials, people being the general public, they feel that if you are involved in real estate in any way, if you have real estate, if you're buying or selling real estate, you must have money. Well, I know everybody in here is independently wealthy, and that's why you're able to be a realtor, right? Daniel's smirking at me. No, you're not. You're hardworking people, and your money means a lot, and your clients' money means a lot. So tax reform is a big issue for us. People are going to try to reach in your pocket, because if you're dealing with property, you must have money coming in, going out. People are going to try to reach in your pocket, especially when it comes to taxes. Next slide, please. So everything starts in locally. I mentioned that we're a four-legged stool. We have our issues. We have our public policy. So our public policy is a member-driven process. Y'all decide what's important as far as public policy. What issues are we going to be interested in, and what is our position going to be? I don't make that decision. Y'all make that decision as our members. Issues mobilization. I said we find an issue, we jump on it. One of the issues we ran a couple of years ago was SMTX for all. And San Marcos was redoing their land development code. It was they had spent 18 months with groups of citizens, and they spent 18 months. It was a 200-person group that came together and said, here's what we want in our land development code. Between the city council and the planning and zoning committee, they looked at it and they said, yeah, we don't agree with any of these recommendations, and they tossed them all out. Well, you just wasted 18 months of your citizens, and this was a wide group of citizens, recommendations for what they want for their committee, for what they want for their community, and you just ignored them. And these are good recommendations. So we did a campaign. We ended up pushing about 15,000 residents, 15,000, yes, I said that right, residents of San Marcos through. We got them involved in the issue. We pushed them through phone calls, emails, directly to their elected officials, because elected officials said, "Yeah, we're not listening to you. We're doing what we want to do. We're not listening to you." We pushed them through, and by the end of it, they called us directly and they said, "Stop, please. Well, okay, we'll talk to you. Please stop." And we didn't get everything we wanted, but we got a lot of it, a lot of our recommendations, and it was all just about here's why these recommendations are good. So that was SMTX for all. It was an issue that we took on and we made change. And then our political affairs. This is 3 of our 4-legged stool political affairs. And our goals of political affairs are to keep you active, engaged, informed, and let others know, those that are in charge, know that you are paying attention and you are going to take action in what they're doing. Next slide, please. I mentioned Tree Pack. That is the 4th leg of our stool. And with everything we do, the way we are effective in what we do is we raise funds from realtors like yourself to give to candidates as they're running for office. And we don't just say, oh, you're running for office? Yeah, here, you can have some money. We interview every single candidate that runs for office that we are going to support. We being y'all, those government affairs committees I mentioned earlier, they get together, they put together interviewing panels, find out, they ask questions that are important to us. They figure out who is going to be the best candidate, who has the potential to be a realtor champion, to take the issues that y'all are focusing on right now. And I know that there are other issues out in the world, but we stay very focused. Private property rights, small business, infrastructure, that's our focus. What is best for you as a realtor? What is best for your client as a property owner? And we support candidates who are going to support those issues. And we do that through y'all as Texas Realtors. You have gotten or will get dues bills when you re-up, when you become a member, as you're through your career as a member. You will see dues bills, and on that dues bill will be a box, and it'll say voluntary tree pack investment. And it is a voluntary tree pack investment, and it is an investment because of the actions we have taken at the state level, at the local level, at the federal level. Every realtor, you as a realtor, I've got this. Our average realtor saves $9,000 per year because of the actions we have taken through our tree pack efforts and the people we've gotten elected. You save $9,000 a year. I'll show you some examples of why. Go ahead and move on to next slide, please. Here are some things that we have done over the years that save you money. But our average member saves $9,000 a year. Who, y'all are all starting out right now. Who has $9,000 in their pocket to just dump just to be a realtor today, right now? Who has $9,000 that they could spend every single year? I don't. Just to do the job that I want to, you know, that we're all here to do? No. Which is why there's a voluntary tree pack investment on your dues bill, $35. Please leave that box checked. The best thing you can do for your job coming in, for your advocacy efforts coming in, is just leave the box checked when you pay your dues, $35. It's a little bit, and that's why I call it an investment. It's a little bit to invest to save you a lot of money every single year, and we're not done. And you notice a lot of our issues keep coming back because people keep looking at real estate and saying, I need to get, you know, we need to get some money. When I say people, I mean governments. We need to get some money somewhere. These people are dealing in property. They must have money. Let me go get it. And I keep looking at this slide, and when I look at it to edit it, there's nothing wrong with it. And then when we're talking, I keep seeing on 2015, ban has two ends. Every time during the presentation, I see the ban has two ends. But when I look at it to edit it, there's nothing wrong. Next slide, please.
Sure, yes.
None of us are perfect, right? We're all learning. When it comes down to it, no matter how you feel about politics, no matter how you feel about elected officials, if real estate is your profession, politics is your business, because politics is interested in you, no matter whether you're interested in it or not. No matter whether you agree with it, politics is interested in what you are doing as a realtor, because they think you have money in your pocket. And we want to make sure that you, your clients, are able to keep buying, selling, leasing property, running your small business. You are a small business owner now, and we want to make sure you can continue to be so effectively without additional burden. That's our goal. That's what we advocate for as realtors now. And you are all realtors. You are all Texas realtors. Next slide, please. There are many ways you can stay informed. Lisa sends out the Monday memo. She's also going to send out, as Regina mentioned earlier, we're changing it up. We're doing a drip campaign now. So a lot of the information that you would sit here all day for, you're now going to get throughout the year. Make sure you read that, because as I said at the beginning of this, when I did this, I didn't do it till the very end, till I just had to. It was the last week that I could do it. And I took the course and I went, oh, I wish I had known that. I wish I had known. Oh, now you're telling me about this member benefit. You're telling me about this, this class I should have taken here. I wish I had known that. It would have made my life and my career, my first 2 years, so much easier. You're going to get a lot through the drip campaign. You're going to get everything you need to know. Take the 2 minutes a week to read it, your Monday memo. You get an email from the Monday memo. Y'all are going to get a lot of emails. I know. Take time to look through the Monday memo. There's a lot of good information in there. From the state level, every so often we do calls for action on issues. If you want to make sure that it doesn't happen often. I have not seen one in the last 2 years, but we're going into a legislative session though, and so with the legislative session there might be one. As part of that, if you want to stay informed, text the word TX Realtors to 30644. If something vitally important comes up that you as a realtor need to know about, you'll get a text message about it with more information. There's also a texasrealestate.com/liaison. I'm a big fan of vanity URLs. And so if you ever hear me speaking and I say the word / whatever, it's either fourriversrealtors.com/liaison or / whatever the word I say is, or in this case, it's texasrealestate.com/liaison. That gives you a newsletter that Again, doesn't come out very often, but during session, it'll come out about once a week and let you know what the elected official is talking about that's going to impact you directly. Your job is to gather knowledge and information and share it with others. This is a great way to gather knowledge about what is going on at the legislature that's going to impact you in a quick, easy to read, digestible way. Slash issues are all the issues that we're going to be dealing with at the legislature in the next session, which and then Realtor Day. Realtor Day is a cool thing that we do statewide as realtors. No other organization does this in the way that we do it. We do a couple different Realtor Days. In this case, it's it's Realtor Day at the Texas Capitol. We're going to bring at least 2,500 Texas realtors to the Capitol on one day. If you want to go, we're going to have a bus leave from our association that's going to stop in San Marcos and pick up more, and then it's going to head out to the Capitol. We're going to spend all day up there. We're going to have some little barbecue for lunch, but we're going to have our issues, our big issues. What is going on? Not all of our issues, but we're going to have some key issues to talk about. What is going through session right now that they need to take action on? That the realtors are involved in. And this is where we go into to their offices, to elected officials' offices. We see all of our representatives. We go into their offices and we talk to them in person in their office. They love to have us. It's such a big deal. They leave, if they're in session, they will leave committee, they will leave session to come and talk to us in their office. They'll drive down, even if they're for whatever reason they weren't in town that day, they will make a specific point to be there that day. They love having us as realtors in their office on Realtor Day. We also do a version of that at the Capitol in DC in May. I'll go. Regina will go. And then your executive board leadership team will go. Those people that I mentioned. You can move on to the next slide, please. A lot of these people will go, including your political involvement committee member and your TREPAC trustee. We'll all go, and we go again to the Capitol. We meet in their office. They love to meet us up there. Last year was a little weird. We're still under some COVID restrictions, and so but we were able to go back in person last year, and it's always a great time. But it is work. I mean, it's a lot of walking. So our elected officials, we have great relationships with them. They love to hear from us because they know we're knowledgeable. They know we're, again, active, engaged, knowledgeable about what we're talking about. They know that we are a good source of valuable information. And as a realtor, your job now, gathering that knowledge, sharing it with others, you have now become a valuable source of accurate information. And I look forward to working with all of y'all. If you need to contact me, again, my name, email, and phone number are the biggest things on the screen right now, so that you'll have them. You can call me at any point in time. If you have a state level question, Matt is your Central Texas field rep. He can talk to you about any issue. He can get you in contact. He does the same thing I do. He just does it with Texas Realtors, and he does it for 14 boards instead of one. So thank you for your time. Any questions? I know I talked about a lot. Any questions? No. If you have questions, give me a call. Text me, call me, email me. I'm here for you. I met my time, Regina.
Again, I was trying to unmute. I couldn't get my key thing to work fast enough. Casey, one of the things I did note, and I don't know, did you get to hear how many? We've got quite a few people here today that are in our Lockhart, Luling, Gonzales area.
Yeah.
So definitely would be a good reach out to them, because I know I can tell you guys the one thing. Go attend, one of the governmental affairs meetings. Just hear what's going on in that area. It's a little bit of your time, but it's just, you're going to walk away with a wealth of knowledge. And and if you find that it's something that you want to do, then you can commit to, attending those once a month meetings. But there's no way for you to keep up with everything that's going on within the community. Having Casey as a staff person that kind of does this and then can just weed through it and bring you that most important information is invaluable. So Casey, thank you so much.
Yes, I talked to Melody a little bit on here because I know she was from Lockhart. That property over there. Our committee.
Kim is in Gonzales. I think Kim is in Gonzales.
I heard that one.
Rebecca, I think, has is in Lockhart, or she's the one that has property in Lockhart.
No, it's Melody.
No, Melody has the property in Lockhart, but Rebecca's from Lockhart. So, yeah.
All of our committee schedules are on the calendar on our Four Rivers website. All of our GA committees meet around the second week of the month. They meet multiple days there, not all on the same day. Caldwell County, I believe, meets on the second Tuesday of the month. We meet at noon out at one of the Blue Bonnet Electric locations. They welcome us in. They let us have their meeting room out there, and so and that is a fantastic committee. Jennifer Helms spearheaded that. She's one of our members out there, and she would love to have you, even if you just want to come sit in and see what we talked about and see what our guest speaker is all about. If you're interested in a certain area, again. Send me an email, give me a call, and I'll be happy to share time, locations, and all that with you.
Absolutely. I think, guys, the one thing that's always stuck with me is the one little phrase that they use with TreePack is that if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. So by attending and being there, you're at the table. You know what's going on. You are not going to be, it's not Hotel California for you. Okay, so. With that, I want to turn over, and I apologize, LaDawn, I didn't give you a heads up, but she has got a few minutes to talk to you about some very important things regarding your education, especially for the new licensees.
Yes. In fact, when I sent you the email to log in, there were several attachments that you can use, and this is one of them. How to get your SAE required classes done. Four Rivers offer GRI classes. And the reason why we offer GRI classes is because it gives you a great foundation for your business. You can ask questions to the instructor on issues that you may have, but it's 4 days for each class. The GRI classes are 4 days. Now, if you recall, when you were getting your license, each of the classes that you took were 30 hours, weren't they? They were 30 hours. So what TREC is requiring you to do is take three more 30-hour classes so that you equal 90 hours. So three 30-hour classes are these GRI classes. Each of them are 30 hours. Now, let me tell you, Four Rivers also let you know that there is a $50 off coupon that Texas Realtors offer you. $50 off your first GRI class for one of, sorry. So, see, that threw me all off. I was on a roll, but I'll grab back on. Okay. So the GRI classes are offered for Four Rivers, through Four Rivers, and there's GRI business skills, GRI brokerage, and GRI contracts. Each of them are 30 hours. And all this information was in that email that I sent you. It's in the attachment. And you know what? Let me back up a minute. Because you all have attended new membership orientation, because you all are here now, this is not the end of your membership requirements. You also need to attend regional MLS. And guess what? That flyer was attached to this email as well. And you need to complete the Code of Ethics. And Regina mentioned that too, the Code of Ethics. And you will have a link so that you can take that on the NAR website. And Regina mentioned that too, that I'll be sending you emails. So if you see any email that says LaDawn on it, open it. because I don't just send flim flam emails. I only send what you really, really, really need. And if you're questioning it, call me and we can discuss it. So Lisa, do I have a minute for us to go to the website, Regina? Okay, Lisa, there, if you could go to our website and Arlene, would you mind us using your license number?
Okay.
Oh, great.
7941.
73.
Thank you, 73. Okay. That was my guess, but I didn't want to guess on something like this. So
Yes. Okay. So TREC is the Texas Real Estate Commission. They hold your license. Four Rivers just help you keep it active. We help you to meet those requirements that TREC wants you to have. Okay, so scroll down a little bit, Lisa. Okay, so you see 30, 30, 30, 30. Those are her pre-licensing classes. She took 6 of them. So that's 180 hours. That's 180 hours. And if you look in that light blue shaded area right above that, where it says additional education requirements, if you look right after it, it says that she needs to complete additionally, there we go, 90 hours of classes, along with legal update 1 and 2. So that 90 hours are those three 30-hour classes. So Lisa, can you click on that additional education requirements? And it explains exactly what SAE means. So you already have 180. And if you take those other three 30-hour classes, that's 90. So 90 plus the 180 equals the 270, along with legal update 1 and 2. Don't forget that part. And guess what? In February, every February, we offer free classes. And legal update 1 and 2 are those, at least 2 of the classes that you'll need. So you can go onto our website and register for that legal update 1 and 2 class that's free. Other than that, if you decide those dates aren't good for you, I always have them on the calendar, but they won't be free. They will be of a charge. You will see on our website as well a lot of free classes, and we offer them so that you can be knowledgeable about your business. So it may not help you get your SAE classes because all they want you to have are those three 30-hour classes along with legal update 1 and 2. But those classes could help you to have the knowledge to help your client. So take them. If you have the opportunity, take all the classes, all the free classes. It'll help you in the long run. More knowledge is going to help you with your business. So I've talked about TREC being the place to go to keep up with your education. I've talked about the $50 coupon that you get on the Texas Realtor website. And all you have to do is click on one of the GRI classes. And there's a link on the bottom that sends you straight to the Texas Realtor website. And if you forget, give me a call. I've talked about the code of ethics, which you'll get a link so that you can take it on the NAR website for free. And I would try to get that done as soon as you can. And I've talked about the regional MLS. And there's a class coming up on January 6th and January 27th. And they have to be completed by the end of this month. So, are there any questions? Nobody? Did I explain it that good? Okay, Well, even if I didn't, you give me a call if you have any questions. And really, please pay attention to those attachments that I sent in that email. Those flyers are going to help you tremendously. And if you have to, as a reminder, print it off and put it on the refrigerator. And then you got it.
So LaDawn's going to, one of the things that we do today after this meeting is that sometime within the next 24 hours, you will receive a survey, because our goal is to always make sure that we're hitting the mark and we're providing meaningful information for you. Your time is worth money. So this, if you take the time to do the survey, and it's a short survey, we don't make anything long. If you do that, then you're entered in for the quarterly drawing. And so we have new member orientation every month. So all the orientees from January, February, and March will be put together that do the survey, and somebody will be selected for a free GRI. So that is a $275 value. So one of the things that you're going to hear from us a lot, and because we really do look at providing you with necessary tools for you to be successful in this, but to also recognize, because independent contractors, I mean, it's a hard business. So what can we provide for the dues that you're spending? And so our local dues, I think, are $125. And LaDawn works really hard to provide you with the entire 18 hours of classes, including the mandatory ones, for free. So I think normally that is $180 value. My goodness, we're paying you to be a member. So just keep that in mind. And then when you get that class for the GRI, do that. And I know that LaDawn talks about it from the perspective of your SAE hours, which is fantastic, but pick her brain. She's attended these classes. She's been amazed at the information. You do your licensing. It teaches you how to be a realtor. It doesn't tell you how to be successful. The GRI classes knocks it out of the park, tells you how to be successful. We've had brokers take this that have been brokers for 15 years saying, if I had known this when I was, getting out of the gate, I would have been so much farther today than I am now. That to me is a huge testament. So, yes, ma'am.
Can I add something else? Arlene is asking for the email. Well, that email was the link. Where did you get the link to join us today? Yes, that's that email. And you know what else too? That GRI class gives you such a great foundation. And if you have anybody in your office is trying to give you suggestions or information or advice, please verify it with us first, because sometimes they're not giving you accurate information, because guess what? They haven't attended new membership orientation. New membership orientation teaches you and guides you through a successful business. We're here to help you. So if they haven't been to new membership orientation, they may not be giving you accurate information. So call us up.
Well said. Thank you, LaDawn. All
right. Welcome back, everybody. Get started here. Finish out our class. Hope it's been beneficial information so far. Thank you guys for sticking with us. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Should be on member benefits right now. So I'm Lisa Montoya, as Regina and Casey mentioned, and LaDawn mentioned. I'm the Director of Marketing Communications. I've been with the association for 7 years. I absolutely love what I do and whom I work with, and we love serving our realtor members. We are a really good team, and we work well to serve you guys. So don't hesitate to lean on us. That's what we're here for. And that's actually what you pay us for. So I am going to talk about benefits. What are the benefits of being a realtor member of the local, state, and national association? Well, you get benefits for paying your dues and being a member. So I'm going to go through each level, show you how to find those benefits, how to capitalize on those opportunities, and then we'll share some additional resources for you guys. So you should be seeing the slide that says, what do you get for your $125 a year? That is our local dues. So when you pay your annual assessment of 507, we keep 125, we send some up to the state level, and we send the rest up to the national level, and we service you for 125 a year. So some of the benefits you get on the local association are, we have a member loyalty card program. Most businesses do. They reward you for participation and involvement. We absolutely do the same thing. So when you come by and visit us at the board office, you can pick up a punch card. And whenever you attend a Four Rivers hosted event, such as today, a CE class, a luncheon, a training, a fundraiser, a mixer, anything that's hosted by Four Rivers, you pull out that punch card and you get it punched at check-in. Once all your 8 punches are filled, you turn that card into a box downstairs in our lobby that Regina is showing you right there. And we do a drawing every quarter, and we give one of our members $100 cash for attending those events. And then that's every quarter. We're fixing to do it for fourth quarter of 2022. And we also do an annual dues drawing. So at the end of the year, we take all of the cards that are turned in, including the quarterly $100 winners, and we put them in the annual dues drawing for reimbursement of your association dues. So you could also be a member of Four Rivers for free for participating in the loyalty program, getting those cards punched and turning them in. So as Regina said, sometimes we pay you to be a member. It just works out that way, but we have fun doing it. So that's the member loyalty card program. Another local member benefit is education. As LaDawn mentioned, we offer at least 18 hours of free CE classes annually. So after your 2-year renewal, once you're able to get your CE classes, you can actually take all the free CE classes here, not have to pay for any education, and get your license renewed by being a member of Four Rivers. That is a huge member benefit, guys. CE education is typically $10 per credit hour. The amount of hours you need every year, you can guess how much you're going to spend on education just to get your license renewed, not including the classes that you just really want to take to improve your business. So education is very important here at the association. We offer free classes for that. They're displayed on the website as free, or you can call LaDawn and ask which free classes we have. We also have discounts on the classes as a board member and board store items. So we do have members, outside members, who come and take education here. They do not get the discount that you all get for being a Four Rivers member, and they purchase board items downstairs like lock boxes, signs, stakes, Realtor branded products. They do not get the discount that you receive as a Four Rivers member. We do have a very extensive board store downstairs. If you haven't come by our association office, please do. We have all the products that you need for your business and open houses. And you get discounts on those for being a member. We also have an online board store. It's on our website, so you can actually order, see what we have in stock, order it, pay for it, and then just swing by and pick it up. So very convenient to get your Realtor products here at the association. Another local member benefit we have here is a FAR Realtor Kids Scholarship. We haven't really talked about committees today, but you're going to get information on our committees. We want you to get you a good foundation just starting out, but once you do want to get involved and start serving on committees and boards. And so one of our committees here is scholarship. That's part of our advocacy. As being a Realtor association, we give back to the communities that we work in. So our scholarship committee works very hard every year to raise funds to give back to local high school students in our area. Last year, we gave away $19,000 in scholarships to local high school students, and we helped them achieve their dream of higher education. We reserve one of those scholarships for our Realtor members. So if you have a child in a public school in one of our 5 counties that is graduating, you can fill out the Realtor Kids Scholarship application, and they could receive money to go to their school or trade school of choice. For our Realtor Kid Scholarship, we invest back into our members and your futures. So that's part of our benefits here. Another amazing benefit of being a Four Rivers member is our Super EQ reciprocity. So you probably heard a little bit about this when you're joining. Your Super EQ is what you use to open up lock boxes to show homes. So you use use an app on your phone. You can only open the boxes of the MLS that you're subscribed to, though. That's how a Super Key works. It doesn't open every lockbox in the state of Texas, just the MLS that you're subscribing to. But we have a very special agreement between our neighbors to the north and the south. And we have a reciprocity agreement that if you are a Four Rivers primary board member, this has nothing to do with MLS, then your Super E-Key will open Austin and San Antonio lockboxes without having to belong to those MLSs. That is hundreds of dollars of savings for you. You can get into those homes without having to belong to those MLSs. It works very well in your favor. So that's a very big primary benefit of being a member of Four Rivers. Remember, it's Four Rivers member, not MLS subscriber. That's a different type of membership. So if you just have the MLS of Four Rivers, then you're not going to have the Super EQ reciprocity, just to clarify how that works. Another great member benefit are $10 luncheons and multiple free events. So we encourage you to get involved. We host a ton of events during every year because this is a relationship business. You all need to meet and see each other and get out there and do some transactions. So we provide opportunities for you all to get engaged. One of those are luncheons. We're going to have 4 to 6 luncheons this year, I think. They are only $10 for you guys to attend. You'll have an opportunity to survey a new venue in the area of a community you may not know about. You'll hear information from a great speaker that the Professional Development Committee has lined up for you with information. You can engage with your realtor peers and meet people in the business. And you just get great information to share with your clients. So attending the monthly luncheons are great for especially new agents because you really meet a lot of people quickly and get your feet on the ground. So don't let money stand in the way of you getting involved. They're only $10. And then the multiple free events are usually hosted by one of our committees called Next Gen. Next Gen is for realtors that are 5 years and younger in the business. So some of you would qualify for that. It's a mentoring committee, and we have exclusive sponsors that pay for everything. So any Next Gen event that you attend, you do not have to pay for anything. It's really just a way to get you introduced into the association and to the business. So we have multiple free events that they put on every year that are really good to attend just to get engaged and get out there and meet people. So please look for those. Anything that says free on our calendar, if you have the time, you should definitely be there. Safe Showings Enterprise Safety app. I have a video on this in just a couple minutes, but this is at no additional cost to you guys. This is an app that you can download and set up when you are doing open houses and showings with the public, with people that you do not know or trust. This safety app helps you keep yourself safe just in case anything happens. So I'll go over what that safety app gives you, but just know that we have that as a member benefit to you at no additional cost. And I'll go over how that works in just a moment. Leadership and community outreach. When I say this, I'm kind of talking about serving. Because when you serve on boards, on committees, in associations, your business grows organically. Because once people find out what you do for a living, there's the referrals and talking to people and, oh, he does that and he specializes in this and she can help you with that. So serving and being in those positions makes your business grow organically. Those are leads that you don't have to go out and find. So we give you opportunities to serve on committees, to be chairs. We give opportunities to serve on the leadership. Executive boards, we go all the way up to the National Association. We have members serving there. So every time you see an opportunity to serve at a leadership position, please take that because it's really going to benefit you and your business. And then lastly, we're all friendly, knowledgeable, and available to you. That's one of the most important things. We hear from a lot of members that they can't get a hold of some associations or staff and they need assistance. We are always here. We answer the phones. We respond to you. That's our job. So a big member benefit is us being here for you guys. So does anybody have any questions on local member benefits right now? Okay, good deal. This right here is just a screenshot of the member benefits page on texasrealestate.com. I'm going to take you live there in just a second. And this is a screenshot of the benefits page on nar.realtor. I'm going to give you some homework when we go to those websites. But I want to mention this National Association of Realtors benefit. This is my favorite benefit from NAR. They have so many, but this is my favorite one. If you have not set up your website yet for your business, nar.realtor gives you a free domain name for a year. And then after that, it's just like minimal pennies to keep the URL. So .realtor is a domain that they will give you as a member for free for a year. It's a top level domain. What that means is it's easily searchable. So I'll show you where that is on their website, but this is a huge member benefit, guys. If you don't have a website, if your brokerage is small, if they can't help you set one up, customize it, nar.realtor will do everything for you. They'll create the page, they'll name it for you, they'll distribute it for you. This is a huge member benefit. So .realtor, there's no question about what you guys do for a living if you have a domain ending in .realtor. So I would really encourage you guys to use this member benefit from NAR. That's one of my favorites. My main job, among many, is to keep you up to date with what's going on in your association, your MLS, and your profession. You are professionals now. You are not just real estate agents. You have joined the National Association. You are called Realtors. You are professionals in the real estate industry, and we treat you as such. So there are different ways that we communicate you to keep you up to date with what's going on. As you know, real estate is ever changing. There is not a day where something doesn't change. So we always have to keep on top of everything. The best way for you to stay on top of what's going on in your association and your MLS is the Monday morning memo. I create this weekly. Everything that's relevant going on during the next week or coming up in the next few months, I will put in the Monday morning memo. It is in your inbox by 6 a.m. every Monday morning. So just sit down and drink your smoothie, your coffee, your juice, or your tea. Take 5 minutes, read through this Monday morning memo. Make sure you're not going to miss a class or event or something that you really wanted to take part in. Make sure there's no rule changes or system information that you need to know. And then you can go on with your week and have a really great week in business. So please make sure you read the Monday morning memo. If you're not receiving it, contact Four Rivers and make sure that you're on the distribution list. But this is the most important piece of information we send out to you every week. The best way socially to stay up to date with Four Rivers is our Facebook account. All of our social media handles are the same. They are Four Rivers AOR Association of Realtors. So you can find us on Facebook. We have almost 4,000 followers on our Facebook page. We have about 1,650 members, as Casey mentioned. So the other people on our Facebook page are consumers, and they are buyers, and they are sellers, and they are watching what our members are doing in the community, what the Realtor Association is doing. We put out statistics. In a lot of cities, we put out accolades of things our members have accomplished, open houses, all kinds of things go on our Facebook page. That is the best way socially to keep up with Four Rivers. Please like and follow us there at Four Rivers AOR. We also do have a Twitter page. I use Twitter a lot for governmental affairs, issues, mobilizations, calls to action, elections, and voting. But I do put other things on Twitter. Again, our handle is Four Rivers AOR. So if you're a Twitter person, please like and follow us there. We also have an Instagram page because we have a lot of fun here. And so all the fun stuff goes on Instagram whenever we dress up or have a tube float or do a habitat build or a food drive. something really fun goes on Instagram. So that's getting really popular. I'm working with Instagram a lot more on reels and videos. So lots of engagement happens on Instagram. So if you're an IG person, please follow us there at Four Rivers AOR. And then last but not least, one of my favorite ways to keep in contact with you is our texting program. So we always have our phones with us. We always know where they are. It's a very quick and convenient way to get messages to you. I do not abuse this system. I only send you very important text. It may be that our system is down or your bills are due today. Don't forget to pay so you're not shut off. Only very important stuff goes out through text, stuff that we want to make sure you're aware of. So if you want to, you can opt into the texting program. It does use your data. So legally you have to opt in. And you just do that by texting FRAR, that's our acronym for Four Rivers Association of Realtors, to 1-844-336-3727. It's going to ask for your first and last name, and then it's going to ask for your email address. Once you provided those to us, you're opted in, and you'll start receiving texts when we send them out. Maybe 1 to 4 a month. That's really pushing it. I really just use it for very important things for you guys. And it is a two-way program. So if you have a concern or suggestion or question about a mass text that I've sent out, you can just respond to that text and we can have a quick communication conversation through that texting program. And it's really nice and sweet. So I encourage you guys to opt into that texting program. All right, so those are the ways that we communicate with you. Our different outlets here. What I'm going to do now is actually take you to some live websites and just show you how to start navigating them, because this is the information and resources that you guys are going to need to do your business. So let's share this screen right here. This is now the National Association website. This is the one I couldn't get to come up earlier with the video, but it's restored now. So it's nar.realtor. Your homework today, before the end of the week, guys, is to claim your profiles on all these websites that you belong to. You will not get to see member information if you do not claim your profile on our website, the state website, the national website, TREC's website, RPR, multiple websites that deal with your business. Claim your profile always. It's good for searches. It's good for information. It's good for everything. So when you go in, this is the public side of NAR, but you're going to want to sign in to see the member information. Okay, you always have to sign in. So what I just want to show you real quick is how to navigate the national website. All the menus are very easy to read and navigate. What you're going to go to first is membership, and you're going to want to look at logo and trademark rules. This is what Regina mentioned earlier about the Realtor trademark. This is how you can find out how you can and cannot use the trademark, where to download the logo for your marketing, your business cards, your flyers. And then this right here is the membership marks manual that she told you to download and keep on hand, because it shows you some design guidelines that you can and cannot use with the member's trademark. So Realtor means member of NAR. Realtor and member are interchangeable names for your profession. So I'll either say member or Realtor. It means the same thing. So if you need the logos, you can download them here. There are top 5 things you need to know about using the trademark to keep on hand. So it's just really important stuff that you need to know when using the Realtor trademark. And a side note, you can always call yourself a real estate agent. The National Association only wants you to use the term Realtor when referring to your profession. So you don't always have to say, call yourself a Realtor and be a Realtor and I'm a Realtor. You can be a real estate agent, but when you're using the Realtor trademark to emphasize your profession, then you have to follow certain rules. I just want to make sure that that's clear. You can use real estate agent that doesn't have any stuff that comes along with it. But when you use the term Realtor, there's a lot that comes along with it. And there's a lot that you get from using the term Realtor as well. So know that membership is right here, logos and trademarks, everything you need to know about the logo and trademarks is under this section right here on their website. That's one piece of the website I want you to look at. The other one is right here at NAR Realtor Benefits. So these are all the benefits you get from the National Association for being a Realtor member. They have theirs broken up into categories. There are several categories. We can go into, let's see, travel and automotive. So obviously you're going to be showing homes, traveling to conferences, going to meetings, meeting people. So you're going to need discounts on travel. Well, NAR offers that, especially through the NAR Travel Club, guys. This is a spectacular club. If you like to travel or send people on trips, huge discounts for Realtor members. But you also get discounts on car rentals, hotels, and stuff like that. So always look for any of the benefits on their website. And when you click on it, it's really easy to take advantage of the opportunity. They explain it to you perfectly. So NAR members save up to 25% on car rentals from Hertz. You visit, how do I get this benefit? You visit this website right here. They will probably ask for your NERDS number. Please memorize your NERDS number. Your NERDS number is your National Association Realtor number that will follow you through your entire career. Everybody's going to ask for it along with your license number. So it's just another number to memorize for being a Realtor member. But in closing, this is just all the member benefits that they provide you from the National Association. If you don't take advantage of them, guys, they look at these every year and some of them drop off, some new ones come on. There's stuff on technology and health insurance and personal insurance and all kinds of things. So go to the Realtor benefits page and see what you can get discounts on for being a Realtor member. All right, so that was the national site. I'm going to take you to the Texas Realtors website right now. This is your state association. So it's texasrealestate.com is the website. Again, they have a public side right here for buyers, sellers, and renters with lots of information on how to do their transactions and why they need a realtor to stay safe in those transactions. And then this is our side right here, the red for Realtor members, okay? So you always want to be logged in and in the member side. Anything important coming up is going to be on the homepage. As Casey mentioned earlier, they are starting to promote Realtor Day at the Texas Capitol. We'll start gearing up for that and getting our buses and registration down. But that's a very important event for Texas Realtors. We go to their association building. You get to walk through it, tour it, have lunch, see where everything is located. Downtown Austin is just a really, really cool day. But again, you want to log in and claim your profile and then go right over here to member benefits, and you can browse by category there as well. So again, their menus are very easy to navigate. Just take some time, look through these websites. There's lots of stuff on here for your business, lots of content, lots of reports on the markets and growths. So just please go through nar.realtor and texasrealestate.com to learn how to navigate these websites. Okay, so one of my favorite Texas Realtor member benefits is the, let's see, where is legal hotline? I don't see it here. Let me try another way. Let's go by alphabetical list. Magazine. There it is, legal hotline. Okay, so from the state association, this is huge for you guys. Some of you have done real estate, some of you are just getting into it. Sometimes what happens is there are discrepancies, differences of opinion and what happened, contractual misunderstandings. Legal things are going to come up in your business and you're going to need legal advice. So Texas Realtors provides that to you for being a member. The Texas Realtors Legal Hotline is a free legal advice hotline with attorneys standing by waiting to answer your real estate questions and concerns. You can call that number 9 to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. It's this number right here at the top. I would write that down. And they will answer your legal questions for you. Nothing outside of real estate, nothing outside of a transaction, but they will give you legal advice on the transaction that you're doing at the time. So if you don't have an attorney in the family, if your brokerage doesn't have an attorney on retainer, if you don't know anybody who is an attorney, you're going to need to use the legal hotline. So that's a great member benefit from Texas Realtors. That will save you a lot of time and money down the road. So that's one of my favorite member benefits, but there are a lot of them. So just spend some time going through these websites, look at what you can get discounts on and capitalize on for being a Realtor member. That is a little bit about their websites. I'm going to take you to our website real quick. You should have come here to apply, but this is our local association website, fourriversrealtors.com. Again, this is the public facing site. They do have some resources on this side for buying and selling, but you always want to log in to your member profile so you get member information. So when you log in, the first thing you're going to see is your member dashboard right there. There's a similar dashboard when you log into the MLS. We always want to make single sign-on convenient for you guys. So however you're logging into the systems, it's going to remember your passwords. So we have right here where you pay and view your MLS invoices, where you pay and view your Four Rivers invoices. And guys, you can log back into these at the end of the year to print your receipts for your taxes. Okay, we can't do this for every member, but just know that you can log back into where you pay them and print your receipts for your taxes. This is right here, our online board store, which I mentioned earlier. You can see what we have in stock. You can place your order, pay for it, and then just swing by and pick it up. This is your access to your MLS right here, your showing time service, property panorama, zip forms, RPR. Then this is your state association, your licensing entity, and your national association. So these are very important websites you should be visiting quite often to do your business. So we put them on the member dashboard right there for you. Some other resources down here, Center for Realtor Development helps you create your finance plan for being an independent business owner. For savings, retirement, and insurance. So you would want to visit the Center for Realtor Development for information on that. Realtor Radio is a great podcast that you can put on for your clients or just listen to when you're in between showings, doing that driving or working. It has some great shows about real estate, and Real Estate Today has been a really fun podcast to pay attention to. So if you're a podcaster, Realtor Radio is the one for you. And House Logic, again, is just content you can put on your social media, your website that you can send out to clients, how to get your homes ready for seasons, for sales, for upgrades. House Logic gives you free content you don't have to design. It's all right there for you. So those are some resources for you on the member page. These are all of our social media links right up here. So this is our Facebook, Twitter. We do have a YouTube channel and an Instagram page. YouTube channel, we're really gearing this up this year. We created a whole media room. We're going to put out lots of videos and reels, but we have tons of content on our existing YouTube channel. Every time we interview a congressman or representative or an ISD spokesperson, anytime we have an event or our year in review or training or anything, it all goes on YouTube. So you have this content to go back and refer to when you need it. So Four Rivers Association of Realtors, again, our handle for everything is Four Rivers AOR. So if you're a YouTube person, please subscribe to our channel there. But taking you back to our website here, let's see. Our menus are pretty easy to navigate as well. When you want to register for a class or event, you just go to education, class registration, or calendar. It will take you to the same spot. Everything is color categorized for you. There's the legend down here at the bottom. So if you don't want to see everything that's going on in the association, At one time, I just want education. What classes are being offered? I don't want meetings or events or anything else. You just click down here on Association Education and Classes. It'll give you a list of upcoming education classes, and then you can go in there and register and get those classes and events done. It'll always have the title, the day, the time length, the location, and it will give you information on the cost, the instructor, and then a course description on what you will be learning through that class or event. And then of course your members. So you're going to click member registration right there. And then from there, it's just like checking out on Amazon. You make sure it's the class that you want. If there's a payment thing, then there's your credit card information in there. It's going to send you a confirmation receipt that you've registered and paid for that class. And then you put it on your calendar and you attend it. So our calendar is very easy to navigate. It's very easy to register for classes. Non-members would use this link, but you always want to use member registration right there. Another menu item that I want to bring to your attention is information change forms. You're starting out with your broker and your sponsor at the time. When you grow in your business, you may find that they do not meet your needs anymore. So you're going to have to find another brokerage or sponsor for your license because you're growing in your business. And that's a good thing. So people change brokerages a lot. When you do that, you need to let us know, because we are in charge of maintaining and managing all of your contact information that goes out to thousands of websites. There's no way you could all do this on your own independently. You just contact the local association. I've changed my brokerage. I've changed my name. I've changed my phone number, my email, my address, anything that changes pertaining to your business as it shows in the MLS. Please let us know so we can process those changes, and then those feed up to all the systems that you guys use. So you come here, resources, information change forms, information update, and then you let us know what changed. We send you a confirmation email that has been processed, and then it should be showing correctly on all of your listings. Again, you cannot change your contact information on your own, so please fill out this form and let the association do it for you so everything shows correctly on all the websites. Getting involved, when you're ready, this is just where you come to learn about what committees that we have, when they meet, what they do, and then you sign up down here at the bottom. So when you're ready for that, it's under Get Involved. And then Property Tours and Caravans is also getting involved. These are groups of members that go out to homes on the market and just give them more exposure. So if you have a house that's needs more exposure, you put it on the property tour, then a group of our members go out and they view the property together. They may have a buyer or someone that they can think of that may want that property. So it's just a good way to get properties moving a little bit and showcase what's on the market. So we have property tours in basically every area. Verde Spring Ranch, Canyon Lake, New Braunfels, San Marcos, Shirt Cibolo, and Seguin. All you do to get your home on the tour or attend a tour is contact the property tour coordinator. All we do is market these tours for them. They set them up. They take people out there. They do the registration. They usually have an advertiser. There's some prizes and giveaways and maybe a breakfast or lunch. So property tours are a lot of fun. If you want to get involved and see what's on the market face to face, then they'll take you to these houses. So check out Get Involved Property Tours right there. This is our learning center. If we are ever closed, you can't get a hold of your broker or any kind of help, we have a learning center here for you with short clips and videos, FAQs, quick tips and tricks on most of the platforms that we use. So your MLS, there's a training website there. There's a video tutorial right there. We have information on professional standards, all the do's and don'ts out there. Then we have information on your RPR, your showing time, your super key. If you're stuck at a showing and your key doesn't work and we're closed, you need to know that you can come here to the Learning Center and get information on how to get your key going so you can get into that house. This is very important, guys. And so the Learning Center is just there for you if you are a self-learning person, or if you need assistance and no one else is available. Okay, so that's the Learning Center. And then about us, if you want to know who serves on the leadership, I apologize, I haven't updated this yet, but this is where you would come to see who is our leadership, who's our president, who's serving on the board. I have a concern, I'd like to contact one of them. So you just click to contact right there and send one of our board of directors a direct message. So this is our leadership here. And then if you want to know who does what at the association, this is who we are. So meet your staff. You met most of us throughout the day, but if you have any questions, you click to contact and you can send us a direct message. Don't waste your time just contacting anybody, guys. Learn who knows who does, because you're just going to waste time bouncing around from staff person to staff person. If you have a question on an invoice and you email Mike Murphy, who's the MLS operations officer, he's not going to know anything about your accounting. So just come here, learn who knows what department you need, and then contact that specific person so you can get your concern or question resolved quickly. So about us is where you can find all of that out, and then I'll take you back to our homepage right there. So that's our local website, just a little bit about how to navigate it and what's on there. My last things I want to share with you are regarding safety. We do take safety very important at the association, so do the national and state associations. So here's a quick video from NAR about why safety is so important, and you need to have a plan of action ready to go.
I'm Brianne Gingrich, a marketing manager and staff executive for the Realtor Safety Advisory Committee at NAR. In an ongoing effort to keep realtor safety top of mind, NAR dedicates September as Realtor Safety Month. So this week, we're going to talk to you about realtor safety and what members should do to stay safe on the job year-round. Overall, working in the real estate industry is relatively safe, but according to the 2020 Realtor Safety Survey results, nearly a third of our members have been in a situation where they have felt fear. It is the goal of NAR's Realtor Safety Program that each and every one of our members is vigilant, aware, and educated on how to stay safe so they come home to their families every night. The Realtor Safety Program is all about helping members understand the risks that they face, which can mean the difference between life and death. Here are some safety tips while working in the office. Safety starts on day one. It's very important for brokers to build a culture of safety in the office and to share the importance of that with their agents on their very first day. It's important to keep records of every client that you are going out on a showing with. Take a copy of their photo ID to have on hand. It's also important to not work in the office alone and never walk out of the office alone late at night. Here are some safety tips to keep in mind for meetings, showings, and open houses. First and foremost, never meet a potential client alone for the first time. Even if you've spoken on the phone with them, always have them come into your office or meet them in a neutral location like a coffee shop. For open houses as well, bring a colleague, bring a buddy, never host an open house alone. It's important to always have your phone on you. You can use safety apps. You can check in with your colleagues back at the office, a spouse, a friend. It is smart to have a code or distress signal where if you need to let them know that you are in a risky situation and you feel unsafe, you can either text a certain code word or an emoji or say a certain phrase, and they will know that you need help right away. It's important to keep wardrobe in mind. You want to be able to escape quickly if needed. Consider wearing flats. Do not wear flashy jewelry. Lock your purse in the trunk of your car. Keep it somewhere safe, but don't carry it on your person when going to a showing or an open house. At a showing, always let the clients walk in front of you. That way, you can keep an eye on what's going on. No one can surprise you. Never go into an attic, basement, or crawl space at a showing. Let the clients go in, explore it on their own, and let you know what they think. Realtors are friendly, outgoing people. But what can happen is we can overshare information. Don't friend every potential client on Facebook where they know where you're going and when, your favorite places to visit, and your schedule. While we dedicate September as Realtor Safety Month, it's so important to keep safety at the forefront of your mind. Keep it in your conversations. Call each other out on it. Stay safe year-round, every day. To learn more about planning your safety strategy and extensive safety resources, including apps, products, and upcoming webinars, please visit nar.realtor/safety. Thank you, be well, and stay safe.
All right, so that's some few tips and tricks on staying safe when working with the public. Especially starting out, guys. I know everyone's so eager to get that deal and make that sale and stuff, but don't put yourself at risk. Do it during reasonable times of the day where people know where you are, where nobody can take advantage of you, because we don't ever want any of our members to end up in any situation where they're endangered for their life or worse. And criminals do not discriminate in any shape or form. So please take safety very important. This is the Safe Showings app that we have available to you at the association. This is a quick video on how it works, and then I'll show you where it's on the website, and then we are done with safety.
Hi, I'm Helen Hudson, the founder of Safe Showings. I'm also a realtor in Charleston, South Carolina. I created Safe Showings because 3 years ago, I had a situation where I feared my own personal safety. You're receiving this video because your MLS, association, or brokerage has purchased Safe Showings Enterprise for you, so congratulations. In order to receive it for free, you do have to follow the instructions on this flyer. It's super simple. You click under option 1 there, the download button, the download link. It takes you to this screen, then you press the button that says register here. Then it takes you to this step where you enter your cell phone number, your first name, your last name, your email address. Be careful when you're typing in all this information, make sure it's accurate, and also create a password. Then click the agree to terms and press proceed. The next thing that'll happen is you'll receive a 4-digit code to your cell phone. Enter the 4-digit code here and press the button. It will take you to this screen. The last step is you click the button that says send the link. The link goes to your phone. If you have an iPhone, you click the first option at the top that's highlighted. If you have an Android, you click the one for Android. Then if you want to know more about our app under option 2, you can click learn how it works, and it takes you to this instructional video.
By downloading the Safe Showings app, you're proactively preparing to take advantage of more secure client contact when conducting open houses and showing appointments. Start by entering the emergency contacts of your choice, like friends, your broker, or family members. It's an easy one-step process. The app features an easy-to-adjust timer feature that will alert your emergency contacts if you've not responded during the time frame you have set. When showing properties, the app will track your exact location via the GPS feature. You can autofill your appointment's information right from the contacts in your phone. You can see that the app provides significant safety at this point, but there's more. When first meeting with the appointment, use your phone to snap a photo of the client. Research demonstrates that this approach is the best way to deter criminal behavior. Now your contacts will be notified if you don't check in based on the timer, and identifying information based on the photo from your showing. All of these features give you accountability for safely doing business during your showings and open houses. Following each showing, the app gives you the opportunity to make a record of the appointment. The app provides free form notes that the app will store for you. By the way, the Safe Showings app saves all the information from each showing so that you can go back and review your opportunities for sales. The open house feature provides the same great security options. Always be sure to get the facial image for all contacts during your open houses. There is a handy 5-star rating system for your showing contacts. This, along with your notes, can alert you and others of potential problems from a suspicious person or from any previous showing.
Thank you for your time. Take control of your safety and start using our app today. Have a wonderful day.
All right, so that's the video on Safe Showings app that we provide to you. And here is where it exists on our website. If you log in and go to Members Home under Resources here, it should be, let's see, did I put it? Yep, right here, Safe Showings Enterprise. So this is the flyer that they have in the video, and this is the video that we just saw. That's how you would download the program. So just know it's under Resources, Safe Showings Enterprise app. All right, well, that's my part. Does anybody have any questions? Good. Thank you guys so much. I'm looking forward to working with you. And now I'm going to turn it over to our MLS Operations Officer, Mike Murphy.
Just kidding. I mess with you guys. I'm not muted. How's everybody doing? Hanging in there? Good. Lisa, thanks for the safety stuff. We can't stress that enough. You know, and if you don't get Safe Showings Enterprise, right, you can, you know, like me, you can get a t-shirt that says Kung Fu because you might run out of ammo. That always helps too. I'm the MLS Operations Officer, the local tech nerd here. My region covers all of Central Texas, which I'll show you in the next slide here, but my office is actually upstairs, what we call the Ivory Tower here at the Four Rivers office, and glad to be here. So I started in the industry in 2002, but I come from the vendor side of things. So I work for a company called Rapatoni that's only been around for 53 years. And after that, I was recruited away to CoreLogic. Yes, I'm wearing their shirt right now, but that's only because it was a free shirt. If you guys send me your free shirts, I'll wear those too. I've got no shame. We'll promote your brokerages. So I used to work for Matrix, actually. So I was a project manager for them. So every time they had new customers coming in and conversions and stuff like that, that's what I was in charge of for them. After that, I was recruited out here to Texas from Las Vegas, is where I was previously, and been here for 6 years, almost 6 years, and love every second of it. So Lisa's showing the coverage area. So like I said, even though my office is here in Four Rivers and we have 2,300 members or so locally, Central Texas, we've grown with all the shareholders. We're almost at 8,000 members. So we've grown a whole lot. So it's really good. The corporation is owned by 5 shareholders, what I call shareholders, and each one has an even share of the MLS corporation. And you can see here on the chart, it's Four Rivers was the ones who started it. And then we've added Williamson County, Temple Belton, Fort Hood, and Victoria to the mix as well. And then Victoria just recently meaning this last year, Coastal Bend merged with Victoria. So now we go all the way out to Calhoun and Jackson counties, all the way out to the coast. So it's kind of cool. So even though you're a member of Four Rivers, you can search the MLS, and if you wanted to, you can search any of those areas. That white spot in between those two northern and southern counties there, and Travis County is obviously Abor, right, with Actress and Austin's MLS, and then Bear County and south of us is all San Antonio. Next slide. You have to excuse me. I've had 2 Yetis of coffee already, so I'm ready to roll. So I hope you guys can keep up. plus, we're working on a condensed version of this, so it's like you're totally experimental at this stage. So I don't like to end on a bad note, so I'm going to start on a bad note. So let's talk about all the violations and more things that will cost you money and not in a good way. So be sure, above and beyond everything else, be sure to go in either on the Four Rivers site or on the ctxmls.com site or within Matrix within the MLS when you log in, read the rules and regulations. I can promise you it is not exciting whatsoever, but there are enough nuances and differences between what we consider violations and what SABOR or Austin and all these other associations around us consider, and I don't want you guys to get in hot water. I hear more often than I'd like to hear, oh, well, I'm a brand new member, this is my first violation, it shouldn't apply. I got news for you. The people that came up with these rules did it for a reason. It's the same as like traffic rules, right? If somebody didn't break the rule, then there probably wouldn't be a rule for that particular instance. So read them, be familiar with them. I don't expect you to memorize them all. God, I hope you don't actually, but at least be familiar so that if something happens, you'll know, hey, I'll pick up the phone, I'll call the association office, I'll call Mike, or I remember seeing this, and then you can refer back to that. So moving on with our top compliance issues right here, the number one, this is almost like the top 40 music, I feel like sometimes. The number one violation that we see a lot of are branded or copied photos. So y'all have been quiet, so I'm going to sit here for a minute. Anybody have an idea what I'm talking about? Branded or copied photos? You want to throw a shout out for a guess? There's no such thing as a wrong answer, so don't be afraid of it.
Is that like posting on social media?
No, not exactly. You're close, not exactly. So that could be a copied photo, yes.
Photos from a photographer?
I'm sorry? One more time.
Photos from a photographer?
No, because most of us use professional photographers, and I'll talk about that in 1 second. That's a great idea. Anybody else?
So would it be like photos used from like a previous listing
Yes. Yes.
or a current listing or something?
Yep, you're right. You're right. So branded or copied photos. So first of all, branded photos means that you can't have a photo with any signs, your face, a picture, your contact information, a virtual tour. I had one person got really creative, like they had a virtual tour and it was reported to me as being branded. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't see any branding in this at all. And then the agent's like, well, listen to the audio track. I'm like, what? And on the audio track, they're like, hey, call Mike. He's like the best. I'm the best realtor ever. You don't need your, slacky agent. I'll sell your property in no time. Call me first, right? And then that people lose sight of the whole premise of an MLS. And the purpose of an MLS is a cooperative or cooperation between brokerages. And in doing the cooperation, right, you want to represent your buyer or your seller. Sometimes you represent both, but you don't want to steal or take leads from one, like a listing agent or a buyer's agent when you shouldn't. So you can't have your signs with your, you have to take have your photographer, right, take pictures of the house and the property from the curbside at least before you put your sign in the yard, or at least prop it out or whatever you got to do, and no branded information. Now you mentioned copied photos. You can copy photos if it was your listing prior, right? So if you put your listing on and then you're going to relist it, you could use your own photos. That's okay. But what I recommend doing is that when you go and take photos, right? Some people like to use their iPhones. iPhones have really come a long way with the photos, but depending if you do it landscape or the long ways and all that, sometimes they can look wonky in the MLS. I'm not going to take a 1.3 or $1.5 million listing, and I'm not going to go out there with my little throwaway camera and take pictures and expect to get business off of that. I would probably and most likely hire a professional photographer, or if I don't have one from my brokerage, there's services offered from within the MLS that will go out and take professional photos for you. When you get those photos, make sure that you get the unbranded version. I actually just last week, I had somebody call who uploaded photos and they're professional photos. The problem is the photographer put his name on all the photos. And when you're in the MLS, you'll find us out later after you take a listing and enter a listing into the MLS, there's a checkbox on there with a bunch of really high-tech legal mumbo jumbo verbiage that CoreLogic spent, in excess of $20,000 for their attorneys to vet out, because there's so many problems with copyright violations. Photographers were sending the photos and in their contracts not giving you worldwide license, to use the photos however you wish on social media and wherever, blah, 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 blah. And then they're coming back and they're suing people for copyright infringement, trying to get, oh, I didn't give you the license for this. You need to write me a check for $2,000. And real quick side note, there was a agent last year who came to me and she's like, hey, I got this bill from another agent, and he's saying that I had stole his photos and that I have to write them a check for $2,500. Like, I don't understand what's going on. So I asked her, I said, well, did you? She's like, well, I don't know. I have my transaction coordinator gives me all the photos and, collects all the information for me to put them up on the system. And I'm like, well, okay, well, did you ask her? Because you might want to check. And as I'm looking at the photos, most of them were kind of questionable, because they're cropped a little bit and they're slightly different. But there's one photo in particular where the sun was gleaming through a particular couple of branches in the tree. It was up in Canyon Lake. It was overlooking the lake, and there's some really beautiful trees, and they're showing the landscape out there. And I'm like, yeah, she used she used this other guy's photos from his previous listing. Well, how do you know? I said, well, because of the way the sun's coming through, that means that you would have to have your photographer out there exactly at the same time of year, exactly a year later, to take that picture when that sun was going through the same two branches on there. The chance of that happening is slim and none. So I said, it's pretty thick. So she's like, well, what do I do? Like Lisa said, call the Texas Realtors hotline. You need to contact your attorney, because I guarantee you're going to have problems, and you're going to have to write them a check for $2,500. She's like, well, that's crazy. I said, I can't tell you anything, I can't tell you anything else to do. I'm not an attorney. I can't recommend what you do, but I can tell you that we had a similar issue here at the board office when we first redid our website. There was a pretty benign, it literally just said brokerage or brokerages, Lisa, I think it was, and it had some books and an iPad or something on it. It was a really crazy photo. And we even Googled free photos. Well, it was free, all right. As it turns out, it was copywritten out of the UK in 2015. And that attorney sent us a check or sent us a bill to, hey, this is a copywritten photo. You need to take it down and you need to write me a check for $2,500. And we said this, we had the same reaction as the agent. This is crazy. That's like extortion, that's, we'll take it down. We're sorry. We didn't know. And the bottom line is, you don't want to go to a copyright litigation with your attorneys, because it's going to cost you a minimum $5,000 to $10,000 attorney retainer and a lot of time in court. And it's going to cost you way more than the $2,500. And we had to write a check for $2,500. It stinks, for lack of a better term. So don't get caught with that, please. Make sure that your photographers give you unrestricted license to use those photos on social media or anywhere you want to post them. You're paying them, you're commissioning them. You should have that ability. So I don't want to beat that horse too bad, but anybody have any questions about that? Okay. Please don't use other photos from other systems because that aren't yours. Because in the case where I take in a very expensive home or listing and I pay out of my pocket to have a photographer on there, I would also be a little upset and miffed if someone just, oh, look, these are nicer photos than mine, and just took them and used them on their listing if my listing agreement expires. So it's just not cool. So, all right. Interrupt me anytime if you guys have questions. Yep, go ahead.
I have a real quick question. Can't you use them if you have written documentation? Yes.
Perfect and good example. You can, as long as you have the brokers, not the listing agent. You have to have the brokers, because don't forget, all listings belong to broker, really. If you have written permission from them to use their photos, hey, that's giving you the sign off and you're cool. So that's a great point that I often overlook. So thank you for bringing that up. Good job. All right, listings not mapped properly. That happens all the time here. We're growing so fast. We've got subdivisions coming out of every corner. And a lot of the properties and streets, Google and Bing can't keep up. The mapping system can't keep up with all the new stuff. So be sure that when you're mapping properties, you put in the address into the system, 123 Main Street, blah, 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 blah. And before you hit submit, go in there and double check that the computer, the matrix, the MLS, mapped your property to exactly where it should be. If it's a new street that's not in Google, it's not going to know where to do, and it's not going to know where to go. So what happens is it goes with what it knows. And you'd be surprised how many people are trying to sell the gazebo out in front of the courthouse off of Seguin as a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, because what it does is it knows what the zip code is, even though if it doesn't recognize the street, and it just puts the map pin right in the smack dab center of the zip code, which happens to be the gazebo in the middle of the circle in our town right here in New Braunfels. So if it does that, you can go in there manually, click and drag and put it to where it's supposed to be. You know better than anybody else. And if you don't do that, you will get a violation because we compare the property address to the county records. And if there's a mismatch, then they automatically send you $100 bill. And then you have a couple of choices, which I'll talk about in a few minutes on how to resolve those. Reporting sales or solds. This happens more than I'd like, but people will take listings and then they'll get excited, you know, when the property closes. And I don't know about you, but I've got bills to pay. When I get my commission check, I'm going to be like, woo, I'm going to go to the bank and cash that baby and put it in the bank. Well, I might forget to go back and update all the sold information on my listing. So flash forward a couple of months and I hits my expiration date and the listing expires and I don't get the sold information. The whole purpose of y'all belonging to an MLS with the cooperation is that we want the data. That's the only reason I've got violations in the system. It's not because I'm paying somebody's salary or making a paycheck off of, you know, nickel and diming y'all to death for $100 violations here and there. I want the data. And if I don't put a dollar value on it, then people will they'll ignore me and they won't do it, unfortunately. So that's why there's a monetary value with a lot of that. So be sure you put the sold information in there if your property sells. It's a requirement, so we have to do it. IDX, does anybody know what IDX stands for? It's an old school acronym. It's been in the industry for a long time. I don't expect you to know it. I'd be surprised if somebody did. Okay. Yeah, Regina knows. I know we're old school. It stands for Internet Data Exchange. And going back to pre-internet and pre-portals and pre-Realtor.com and the Z word with Zillow and all the rest of these companies, everything was just in the MLS and it didn't syndicate out externally anywhere. So the Internet Data Exchange are rules set forth by NAR, National Association of Realtors, for what you can and cannot send externally to other sites and be public, right? Like we're a non-disclosure state, so you don't want sold information. You put the sold information in the MLS, but at no time do I ever open the gates and let that information out to the public. And some people are going to say, well, I can go to Redfin and I can get an account. I can see the sold information. That's because Redfin's become a broker, even though they're an internet company. They got their brokerage license, and I can't say I'm going to send this to you broker, and I'm not going to send it to you broker. I can't play by those rules, unfortunately. So yes, they found a loophole. Yes, they've got around it a little bit, but that information does get out there. But in fairness, for cooperation, you can't put any websites on there. Again, people were putting their own personal websites out. So say Arlene puts, I'm going to pick on you for a second just because you have to be top center for me. So, all right, Arlene's got a listing and she puts her, hey, contact me directly on your website, right? It sounds good on the surface, right? Because you want to drive agents or clients to you to call you. But then that goes out onto Realtor.com or even my brokerage website. So say I'm a broker with EXP or some other brokerage that she's not a broker of or affiliated with, and I put that on my website. Now on my website that I'm paying for, I'm showing her listing, but it says, hey, contact Arlene. Okay, that's not cool. So you don't want to do that. So you don't want to put that out into public comments or anything else in there. No agent contact information in remarks. Okay. Directions used to be an immediate fine. Now we've just recently changed that to a 3-day violation, to give you a chance to correct it before you get a fine. So what happens is we need turn-by-turn directions because there's a lot of places where we lose cell phone reception, sometimes GPS reception, and go follow GPS or use Waze doesn't cut it. I need to know from a major highway, hey, 35. Take 46 west to blah blah blah, make a left, go count 5 cypress trees and turn right at the rock, whatever you got to put in there. It doesn't have to be like exact and overly detailed, just rough ideas so that people who don't know the area, because we have a lot of new agents, a lot of people moving in from other states, agents included, they don't know the area. We need to have the turn-by-turn directions so they can follow it. All right, next slide. Killed this one. Any questions on those so far? All right, this is what I was just talking about for the turn-by-turn directions. Oh no, this is staging. So let me update you on this one. So I get a lot of calls on, hey, can I stage my house, right? Can I manipulate my photos? The answer is kind of. So you can have a professional company stage empty rooms and put furnishings there so it looks like it's lived in, or it looks clean and all that stuff, instead of just having bare walls. Say it's a new development, right? And there's just sticks. You can do that. You cannot put a wall where there's no wall. You can't put a bricked in or fenced yard if there's no fence on the yard. You can changing the yard grass color. If you take a picture now and the grass is dead or frozen, you can make it green. That's kind of on the, I'm not going to say yes or no, that's kind of on the fringe area of doing some of that stuff. You can't put trees where there's no trees, stuff like that. So you can't change the way the home, when somebody walks up, they need to be able to look at the pictures that you post on the MLS and recognize the house, basically. No changing the paint color, that kind of stuff. You can make it look clean. A lot of things that they'll do is if you go there on if your photographer shows up on a rainy day and you want a blue sky to make it look pretty and sunny and all that stuff, that's cool, because you're not misrepresenting the condition of the home. You cannot take a pool of a distressed house where the pool is just nasty and falling apart and make beautiful water in it and put cool tile around it. That's a no-no. That's misrepresenting the true condition of the property. And a lot of people are like, well, I want them to see what it would look like when they fix it up, because they're going to buy it as a distressed property and they want to fix it up. I understand that, but a lot of your photos that are in the MLS are used later on down the line when the property is after it's relisted and the property's been fixed up. Appraisers use the system too. And appraisers like and need to see the condition of the property at the time it was in the MLS and for why it was that price, high or low. So it's very important to help paint, if for lack of a better term, paint a better picture of the condition of the property. So, all right, we cool on that? All right, let's move on. Running over, so try to get you guys out of here not too late. The report it button in the MLS, Lisa, next slide. I call this the tattletale link. And so when you go into the MLS, on the top of the pages, you have that yellow exclamation right there. The system can't catch every violation, but it can catch a lot of them. So when you click on that tattletale link right there, it's going to open up this next screen. And if somebody called it a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and it's really like 2 bedrooms because they didn't finish the last bedroom, or it's got a great room, whatever the problem is that the system can't see, then you can put a detailed explanation of what the problem is in here, and you hit submit, and then submits it to us. And then my compliance department goes and tracks them down and gets the data corrected on there. It's semi-anonymous, and I tease about that because I know who the list agent is and I know who's reporting it, but at no time will we ever divulge who reported it, and that's a one-way ticket, right? I'm also not going to report back to you, hey, thanks, we busted that guy, they got it fixed, and I charged them this, or they had to go to class and all that. You just, none of your business really how I handle that. But the bottom line is the data is what's most important. And tomorrow you might be across the table with that same agent on a totally different deal, and we never want things to be weird like that. We're all professional. And the bottom line is correct the data. That's all I want. Go back to the agent or the broker, make the data so it's correct and accurate, so we all look professional, and move on. That's all it is. Next slide. All right, I got 3 workflows. So in violation, so we've got a minor offense, which is you're corrected, and then I've got the next one, which is the mediocre. We call it a major offense, and that's a $100 fine on that one. Serious offense. And then other issues are egregious. That's for sharing your ID. So at no point in time should you ever share your login or your password with another agent, spouse, a colleague, or anything. It doesn't matter, right? So say Casey and I, Santos, I forgot we get for once, we're outnumbered by Casey's over Mike's. This is great. So, all right, Mr. Santos, say you need to go on not need to. You want to go on vacation. You've earned it. You've been working hard. You want somebody to manage your listings. We work in the same office. Don't give me your login and password to manage your stuff. What you can do is you can call the association office here if you don't know how to do it. But we can set up, we can work together as a team temporarily or permanently. You know, it all depends on how you want to do it. And what would happen is you would approve access in the MLS for me to work as you. And then I would have a drop down and I can click work as. And if I'm your transaction coordinator, or you're my broker, or we're just like co-agents or whatever, right? Then I can click on that work as you while you're gone on vacation, and you can call me and say, hey man, can you change the price on this listing? The buyers change it, and I don't have internet service because I'm on this really cool cruise somewhere, so we can do that, right? So no problem with that at all. We just have to set it up. But the theory is I have my own login that I'm paying for. He's got his own login that he's paying for. And everybody's on the up and up. So when you do that, you can share and work as a team member for that. So make sense? Okay. And that's a biggie. That's $1,000 fine. You don't want to get caught doing that. There's a big, once upon a time, I had a brokerage that would promote that. Hey, join my brokerage. We can save you money because you won't have to pay for MLS access. And they'd have like this huge list of all these passwords to log in to all these different systems. And I can see a lot more than you'd want me to see on the MLS as the operations officer. I track IP addresses. I track the number of devices you use, and we have a rating system in there. And if you're, I've even got a velocity counter on there. So if I was to log in from New Braunfels and 10 minutes later, I log in from South Florida or from the Philippines, I know that that's not going to work. And it tells me, it says that to travel that distance, you would have to travel like 17,568 miles an hour to make that happen. So, and which we know is impossible. So it flags and really bumps people up that are violating the system. And those are the ones that I go chasing after. So, all right, next slide. Finer note, if you receive a finer notice, right, you can respond to the notification, and in that is compliance@ctxmls.com. And we now have fine waiver classes that you can take. Again, I'm not trying to pay anybody's salary. I hope that you don't have to pay the $100 fine. Instead, you can go and you can take a fine waiver class that we just started implementing a couple months ago. And in lieu of paying the $100 fine, if you get a violation, you can take the class where they go over the rules. It's way more cool and more fun than going to traffic school, I promise you. And everybody, including older agents and brokers that have been doing this for a long time, are like, wow, I learned something new out of this. Because you don't just learn about what you did wrong. They don't set you in like the corner and like slam you for like what you did. It's constructive criticism about, hey, this is the difference. This is the reasoning behind the rule, and blah, blah. And then you also learn from the other people in the class about this. It's like 45 minutes, and you can take the class once every rolling 12 months. So I've been getting a lot of really good feedback about it. Next slide. When you log into the MLS, we've got this external links widget on the right, if you guys haven't seen it. And then down inside there, what I have circled are the rules and regulations. The fine schedule. The fine schedule kind of cracks me up. It's like a a la carte menu of like how much each violation costs. So, but it kind of gives you like a breakdown of like the big ones and stuff on there. And then the service area is a map, a PDF printable map of, remember the second screen that I showed you that had all the multicolors in our coverage area of Fort Hood and all that? That's what that is. Some people like to print that out and have it as like a reference to keep it handy. A lot of people, especially around this area, right? We specialize in moving military. So if they're going from Fort Hood to San Antonio or vice versa, wherever, Fort Sam Houston, then you can help them out. Next slide. Logging into who is logged into Matrix so far? Has anybody been into Matrix? Okay, many have, many haven't. So I'm just going to blow through these slides real quick. The first time when you get your login, when you log into Matrix, it's got the URL on the email that you receive. You put in your user and the default password, and then you get the next slide. You have to go through a registration process the very first time you log in. Next slide, Lisa. You'll get a screen that looks like that. And then you have to read all that technical mumbo jumbo. And you actually do have to scroll to the bottom to get it before the thing highlights. but you have to see how it says the second line before where my arrows are. It says type Minnie Mouse here. You have to type your name exactly as it is, and then that agree button will highlight in bright orange down below, and then you'll be able to accept it. I have a problem, or I did have a problem initially, where people that had like hyphenated names or like O'Reilly or something with like accents and all that. Sometimes it would work weird. If you run into problems, call us. We can walk you through it. But anyway, once you click on that, then you get the orange button. You click on that, then you got to pick your favorite color, your birth city, and your first job. You know, answer the security questions. Next slide. Then you got to change your password. And then ta-da, you click on CTX, and then you can go into the MLS. After that, you're registered on where you're at. Oh, I missed a slide update. Our portal's slightly different than what it is right now. So there's a million buttons on here. It can be confusing at first. I try to break them down into categories, but the very top left button, Matrix MLS, is the one you're going to use probably 99% of the time. But there's other buttons there for realist tax, e-property watch, property panorama, a bunch of the other items that we work with and communicate with. There's going to be a drip email campaign that's going to teach you about each one of those slowly but surely, so you'll be able to go through and click them. Or if you have a question specifically about it, just give us a ring. On the bottom of the left screen, it says County Appraisal Service, districts. And that came out of a meeting, just like a meeting like this, where we had a focus group, and a lot of people are like, hey, I'm always going in to check the tax records for, for owners and properties and stuff like that. Could you add all of our county appraisal district links here so it's easy to access? I'm trying to make this, even though it looks a little overwhelming when I first see it, I'm trying to make this homepage as sticky as possible. And every time you click on one of those buttons, this page stays and it opens in a new tab. So you can always go back to the home button and open up multiple tabs, multitask or ADD, whatever you want to call it, is kind of what our business is. So we're jumping around all the time, taking calls. And so this hopefully will make it a little bit easier for you. Okay, next screen, Lisa. When you click on that Matrix MLS button on the top left on that previous screen, this is the home page for the MLS. And I'm not going to go into training on this. We have a training here tomorrow. If you guys haven't registered for that, or if you want a specific MLS training, Erica, our education director for Central Texas MLS, will be here in person, and you can bring your laptop, and she does it like a workshop. It's really cool. So if you don't know how to set up contacts, or you haven't configured like all your settings and all that, she'll walk you through all that tomorrow. So I recommend you go on the calendar, like Lisa said, or call us and say, hey, I want to jump in on this thing. I think she's got like 55 people in there as of yesterday. So it's a good class. So, and she also, like me, right, she covers the entire region. So she's not here all the time. I think she comes once a month, Regina, right, for the in-person. So once a month she comes in, which is good. But she also does regional classes on the first and fourth Friday of the month. So if you wanted to do a Zoom training, you can. But I mean, since she's right here, she lives in San Antonio. Once a month she comes here. Tomorrow's the class. You can't beat the one-on-one training on that. I mean, to get the feedback and the questions and the, hey, I'm trying to log in, but how did you do that? You don't get that interaction on a Zoom. I mean, this is a good example, right? It's like I'm doing most of the talking here. So that's just the nature of what happens. So if you haven't registered, I highly recommend it. It's a great class. It will not be a waste of your time, I promise you. Because that's 4 hours. So that's 9 to noon.
9 to noon, and we offer breakfast.
And Arlene's asking if that will be recorded. No, because it's only in that one tomorrow is only in person. So the first and fourth Fridays that she does, I believe she does record that one.
It is orientation for Central Texas MLS. They have to get one of these in, and that one's always on Zoom. So it is whichever you prefer.
Yeah. So go for it. Next slide.
I don't believe, Mike, that the orientation comes with CE credit.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah, I don't think so
Yeah.
either.
So it's really a matter of if you and if you're in your SAE hours, and LaDawn can chime in here, but if you're in your SAE hours, if you take a CE class, it's not for waste. It goes towards, it banks for when you want to get your broker's license. So
Okay.
that's a
Fair enough. Good to know. So, you know, register for that tomorrow. We'd be happy to see you all in person, and then, you know, come and say hi. Help, there's lots of help available, right? My personal favorite, because I come from the vendor side of things, and one thing that I'm very happy of is that as you can tell, I'm not very shy and I'm completely impatient. So I've got no problem taking any issues you guys have and going right up the chain of any of our vendors to get something resolved. And so I personally, for help or whatever, I like to just pick up the phone and call. And if you don't want to, or you prefer to search it on help, you can click on the help tab in Matrix. You can go to the Learning Center that Lisa showed real quickly on the website of the Four Rivers page. Once you log in, there's a Learning Center, and there's a link to a lot of our vendors, and they have videos and PDFs and walkthroughs and all these how-tos on there. Answer link, I don't really recommend unless the office is closed, because a lot of times you might ask them for something. They're like a national support for CoreLogic, and you might ask them like, hey, what does ETJ mean? I don't understand what that definition is. They're not going to have a clue, because that's a local definition that we use here. So extra territorial
jurisdiction.
Yeah, I always stumble. I get used to call it ETJ, and I forget what the actual long term is. And then when you search in help, right, it's fairly robust, right? It doesn't have everything, but it's got a lot of the hot topics and stuff on there. And these are hyperlinks that will take you to, again, videos or PDFs or whatever. They're all different. You can type in like CMA, like if you have, or add contacts, like, hey, I've got my first client. I don't know how to add a contact because I haven't been to the orientation or the training yet. Go into help tab, click contacts, and then you'll go there. So of those that have logged into the MLS, who logged in and has seen that pop-up that jumps right in front of the screen, a really annoying one? You gotta, like, you always hit like read later or cancel and all that stuff. Who's seen those? Anybody? Yeah, aren't those annoying? Okay, I'm the guy who puts those up there. You're welcome. I try not to spam. I mean, we're getting emails and stuff all over the place. I try not to spam y'all unless I absolutely have to. So if there's going to be like I can't even tell you how many downtime or maintenance notifications I get from all of our vendors. I am not going to put those up there unless it's going to be either in the middle of the working day, or if it's going to be extended amount of time. If they're doing system maintenance at 2 a.m., you know, to 2:30 a.m., hey, some of us are working at that time. It happens. So, you know, we're a 24/7 service, but I'm not going to say for half an hour, 15 minutes downtime, I'm not going to go on there, because about the time you find out and you can't get into the site, and then you pick up the phone and you try to call somebody, or you write an email and you refresh a page, and all of a sudden it's working. It's not even worth me bothering you and spamming, because I don't want you to get like, what do they call it? Having a find words. But anyway, I don't want you to get desensitized to seeing those. So please read them. You can print them out now. You can obviously read them later, but please don't ignore them. I put expiration dates on it, so don't assume that if I put a nice help or something on there, that it's always going to be there. Once that thing expires, sometimes it's a week, sometimes it's the end of the month, it's gone. So I can pull it back for you if you needed to, but you know, print them out if you want to. Some people actually keep a folder, and we'll do those. Next slide. Home visit. I'm going to show you a video real quick. We were talking about photos, right, earlier. This is a feature from CoreLogic to where they've interviewed, and we have local photographers that they use, which is the good thing, because I gave them a lot of pushback on this initially. And home visit, they'll come out and you can do a la carte photo services, and they'll do everything from basic photos to photos and drones to photos, drones, and the superimposed pictures, you know, where they look really cool, where you have like the twilight picture of the sun and the, you know, the sky and the lights on inside the house and all that. So here's a really quick video of it. This is it's not free service. It's free for you to go in there and order. But if you don't have a professional photographer, your broker doesn't use one, and you don't know one, you can click on this within 24 hours for your listing. They'll come out. They'll take the photos, they'll put it all together, they process it, they do everything for you and upload it in the MLS. And I've heard that their prices are very competitive to what you'd pay a regular photographer. They're not like, it's, you know, way over the top. All right, Lisa, shoot. All right, awesome. I am way over time, so I'm going to blow through these next couple of slides. So if you guys have any questions or need help, call me, email me, whatever. I'd be more than happy to walk you through them. So some of our free mobile apps, you know, because our clients and us are all touchy-feely. Hey, do you have an app? Do you have an app? Yes, we have an app. So if you go to Google Play or if you go on the Apple Store, you're going to search MLS Touch. And here is how you do it. You can, well, it shows you right here. But MLS Touch is the Matrix mobile desktop. So this is like all of your contacts, all of your listings, all your search areas. It works great. We just implemented and rolled this out. We used to have another product that was called Go MLS that was really old and archaic and it didn't work real hot. So this one is really a mobile desktop on the go. You can do CMAs, there's quick view things. The Insta View is my favorite only because I'm a tech nerd and I like all this crazy technology. The Insta View actually works. I finally had a chance to try it out. But if you're walking or driving by a house, well, don't do it if you're driving, please. I'm not going to do any of that, but you get it. If you're walking by a house and you see a property on there that's on the MLS and you want to know about it, take your phone, point it at the house and hit Insta View and it instantly gives you all the details of the house. It's the coolest thing I've seen because it knows where you're at. It says like, hey, that property is like for sale for this much money and blah, blah, blah. It's pretty neat. So, and you can contact the agent. There's communication stuff on there. It's pretty cool. But MLS Touch for CTX MLS is available. Next slide. Showing Time. If you don't have the Showing Time app, you need to contact us. You can search it online, but there's a code you have to connect your CTX Showing Time with Showing Time, and you'll see listings, and you know everybody can search and do all these other things. This is to schedule showings or to approve scheduled showings. Depends on if you're on the buy side or the sell side, right? It works both ways, but you need the Showing Time app. And Alona was asking earlier about, you know, what did Lisa mean about claiming your profile? By claiming your profile, from the MLS, I talked about syndication and IDX. All of your information and all of your listings goes out to all of these other vendors. Zillow, the technology vendor, not the brokerage, RPR, Realtor.com, they know who you are from the MLS. But if you don't go on there and claim your profile and say, hey, this is me, these are my listings, what happens is that you won't get the referrals for the listings from Realtors Property Resource or from Realtor.com or any of these other national websites. So that's what she means. On Redfin, on all of these national sites, syndication sites, go in there, log in, make sure they know, hey, this is your contact information. And then that way, when they get clicks on their website, then they'll send them to you instead of just some random premier person on these other websites. So that's what she meant. And that's why it's really important, because if you don't do that, someone else is going to get your lead. Realtors Property Resource, you've paid for this through your NAR dues. It's a great national MLS because they have all the data across. You have to belong to multiple MLSs. So if I'm an agent and I'm licensed in the state of California, and I'm licensed out here and I belong to an MLS there and an MLS here, they'll connect the dots and you can help people move. You know, maybe I specialize in military moves, right? Then you can connect those two and search all the properties and contacts in one spot using RPR to do that. It's a great, very underutilized app. But when I look at the stats on that, even though it's underutilized for the general population of the membership, one thing I found out was that the top 10% of the highest producing agents and brokers in our system, well, guess what they're using? RPR. So they're keeping it to themselves. So a little pro tip there. You might want to go take a look at it. All right, next slide. Supra. Supra's got a great app. I'm going to show you live here in a minute. Real quickly, we'll talk about safety. But Supra is obviously our access to get into houses and keys and to see showing activity on properties and all that other stuff. One thing I do want to mention here that I often forget is that Four Rivers, unlike any of the other shareholders in Central Texas, and I haven't heard about this with any other association, there's a co-op. So if you're primary board here with Four Rivers, as opposed to some of our other neighbors, your key will open up lock boxes in those other systems without you having to belong there. So you can go into San Antonio and show homes there for your clients with your key from Four Rivers. And if you have a listing here, San Antonio agents can show your house without being a member here. So it works really, really cool. This goes back in excess or around 20 years, I think. It's been in play for a long, long time. And it's a great member benefit. So amongst all the other benefits, this is going to give you a huge bang for your buck. Am I missing anything on that, Regina? All right, next slide. The Z word, love them or hate them, right? Now they're a competitor. You know, for years they said that they're never going to become a broker, and guess what? Well, now they're a broker. You know, things happen. You know, markets change, so it is what it is. When I'm talking about here is I'm not talking. I can care less about Zillow as a brokerage right this second. What I'm talking about is Zillow as a technology company, and I got to give them kudos, right? As pro or con, right? Personal differences. They have done a lot for the industry because working for Rapatoni and working for CoreLogic and other MLS vendors, they sit on their hands after a while. You know, when they have people in contracts for 3 and 5 years, or Supra too, right? They have contracts for 3 or 5 years. They're no big hurry to do anything about adding new features or cool things. When you get a disruptor from the outside, from a technology with billions of dollars that comes in, they really push a lot of our vendors to implement a lot of these same features. And one of the biggest things that I like that they did was that Zillow started toying with AI a long time ago. And what they would do is that they would start analyzing your pictures that you upload to them. And what was cool about it, and now I'm starting to see this with CoreLogic, I'm starting to see this with external third-party companies. What they're doing is that you can upload a photo of a kitchen and it identifies, hey, it knows it's a kitchen. How does it know? It knows because there's an oven, and it knows that, hey, that's a picture of an oven. It also knows that there's a sink in there, you know, that's not like a bathroom sink, it's a kitchen sink. And then even one further, they're analyzing the logos of the appliances on there, and they're adding metadata tags behind the scenes so that people in the future will be able to search on, hey, I want a home that's got a red door, a tin roof, a purple house, and a Viking stove. Like that's ever going to happen, right? It could. But it can say, hey, this is the logo of a Viking stove. This is the logo of a Sub-Zero refrigerator freezer. This is the logo of, you know, whatever high-end appliances on there. And we'll be able to start searching on those types of tags in the future going up. And it's exciting on where they're pushing it. And again, CoreLogic wasn't even thinking about stuff like that. Now they're trying to keep up with some of their users on there. So in that sense, disruptors like this have been really good for the industry. All right, next. Was that it? Ta-da! Here we are. All right, let me share my screen real quick. I'll show you Supra. I know, and I already got you guys going over. I apologize, Lisa. I need you to give me the authorization, please. So if you guys haven't done this yet, you need to log in to the Supra site, and I'm on supraweb.suprakim.com. There we go. So I need screen 3. It's this guy. Here we go. All right. So you all seeing my screen over here? All right. So when you log in to the supraweb.suprakim.com, and Supra's got like 5 million different websites for different things. Drives me a little crazy. But when you log into this with your profile, it says, hi, Mike Murphy, you're logged in on this Supra Web Management website. There's a link on here called eKey Alerts. Okay, so you click on eKey Alerts. I think your homepage actually, it looks pretty plain when you first log in. It looks like this. Click on eKey Alerts. And what this does is this is going to enable a button on your super app for alerts. And what this does is it's going to send an email or text whoever you put in here for your contacts. And it takes your geolocation of, hey, Mike was in this bedroom when he sent this. Hey, I'm feeling uncomfortable, or hey, I got a problem. Just wanted to let you know where I'm at. And it will send that to your contacts on there. So first thing you need to do is you enable the service right here, and then you have to put in the contacts. And then depending on the carrier, if it's a SMS message or whatever, you have to follow their format down here. And so you add your contacts in there. So my first contact is John Wick. Of course, who else would it be? Besides maybe like, Chuck Norris. But second in line, if Mr. Vic doesn't answer his phone or doesn't call to come to my thing, then I've got Sue Perman that I could do. And just like my lame dad jokes, they're antique would be my last con. Okay, never mind. But you get the idea, right? So you put in here, put in a message that will alert them, say, hey, with a client, this Mike Murphy guy is a creep, please send tacos. Hopefully it's a little bit more descriptive than that. You can put whatever you want down here, but you get the idea. And then you click save, and then it could take 15 to 30 minutes for that to actually enable on your phone. And I think you have to log out on your phone app and log back into the phone app for it to come to life. But then once you do that, you'll click, and then it will go to one or all three of these people saying, hey, I haven't heard from Mike in like 6 hours. He's supposed to be back like 5 hours ago. What's going on? And oh, wow, what do you mean? I got this email. And you can forward that to authorities, because it, like I said, it collects the geolocation, what it is. And that's free. They didn't try. I got it. There's not many things that vendors do for free, trust me. So this has been a huge benefit, and kudos to Super for doing that. That we didn't have to do contract extensions or pay more money or do any of this stuff. They're taking our safety seriously. And but you have to set this up ahead of time is the problem. But with the push of one button, you can send that alert out. We're already in the Super app, since we're having to go into a house to do showings anyway. I thought it was fabulous that they did that. Any questions on anything else that I've covered? It's not every day you get the undivided-ish attention from the MLS operations officer. My phone and my email is open all the time. I spend an enormous amount of time training staff here, as well as with our other shareholders, so they can answer 90% of your questions. And I promise you that's the case, because I no longer get any easy calls. Everything I get nowadays takes research or takes calls. But there's no such thing as a dumb question. If you guys are confused about it, my phone and my email is open for you. All right, y'all. Thanks for your attention. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it. I know I went over, but I think and I hope that you got some benefit out of it.
Thank you, Mike. You did an awesome job as usual. All right. As we said to you before, it's way more information than it can be imparted truthfully in a sitting. So we're down to the wire. All we have left is a quiz with a prize that Lisa's going to have you take, and then we will do the swearing in for your realtor status, and then we're done. Lisa, I'm turning it over to you for the quiz.
All right, now it's time to have some fun. See how well we did, how good a job we did at presenting this information to you, okay? So it's just a fun quiz. This isn't a pass or fail anything. We just want to see what y'all took in and how we did doing the orientation. So here's how the quiz works. You're going to use your phone. You're going to scan that QR code, or I'm going to put this link into the chat and you're going to go to that link. After you do that, you're going to put in this quiz code of 00813103039, and you're going to put your name in there, and you're going to be opted into the quiz. So let me put this into the chat here just in case.
And Lisa, what are our prizes today?
Our prizes are Realtor branded products. Then we also have some really nice leather bound notebooks. Actually, you kind of get to pick when you come in. So we have different prizes that you can get, but they'll all be useful and relevant to your profession.
Cool.
All right, so let's see, I have 4 users in there. And we are up to 5 here. Okay, so how this works while you're still opting in is that you don't only have to get the question right, it's the first to answer. So it's a timed quiz and the correct answer wins. You will see people on the leaderboard, and the top 3 people on our leaderboard will get to come in and pick out their prizes. So I'm up to 8 users here. I have 12 people in the class. So you don't have to participate, just if you want to. Is everybody in that wants to participate? We got 9.
Lisa, there's 11.
11, okay. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. If you want to join, you can. Like I said, it's the first to answer and the correct answer, okay? I'm gonna help you out a little bit. So we're gonna start the quiz here. It's gonna show on your phone as well. So question 1, how many 30-hour SAE credit classes do you need for your first 2-year Trek license renewal? This was Miss LaDawn who gave you this information. All right, got a lot of answers in there. I think we might have nailed this question. All right, survey says.
Yeah.
Yay, 100%. 3 30-hour classes for your first 2-year Trek license renewal. Good job, LaDawn.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we have Casey, Kimberly, and Theodore in first, second, and third. Question 2. What is the name of the PAC in Texas that supports private property rights, home ownership, and the real estate profession that you all will invest in as Realtor members? Hint, hint, there's a picture on the screen. And we'll see.
Man, tests should have been like this in college.
Would have been a breeze.
I know.
All right. Tree PAC, Texas Real Estate Political Action Committee, 100%. Good job, Casey. All right, so we've got Casey, Lana, and Kimberly in first, second, and third. We're going to question 3. What year was the first Realtor Code of Ethics adopted by the National Association of Real Estate Exchanges? This was in the first part with Regina. All right, Casey is paying attention. A few more seconds on that question. Okay, survey says 1913. Good job.
110 years.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Wow.
We'll be celebrating. All right, Theodore
Code
moved
is
into
110.
first. Kim is in second. Dan is in third. Question 4. Which matrix MLS violation is considered egregious and an automatic $1,000 fine with possible loss of MLS access? Ooh, that's the bad one.
The bad one.
And this was in Mike section, so it should be fresh in your memories. All right, few seconds left. Let's see if we can kick Theodore out of first. Arlene! All right. Yes, sharing login or passwords is a $1,000 fine and possible loss of MLS access. Good job. All right, we have Arlene, Casey, and Kimberly. 2 more questions, guys. The term realtor is not only a trademark owned by NAR and protected by federal law, it's a valuable membership benefit that distinguishes members from other real estate licensees and can be used interchangeably as the following phrase. This was my section, so I'm hoping I did a good job. All right, let's see. All right, not bad, not bad. Member of the National Association of Realtors. And Kimberly moves into first, Theodore in second, and Dan in third. It's anybody's game, guys. All right, last question. Top three. Which counties are in the Four Rivers Association of Realtors jurisdictional coverage? Regina covered this as well. It's on the map that Mike showed. And Casey's section talked about all the GA committees in these counties. So multiple places for this information in our presentation. All right, Kimberly, can you hold on to first? Let's see. Oh, all right, good job. Caldwell, Hayes, Gonzalez, and Guadalupe are our jurisdictional territory within Four Rivers. Good job, everybody. I hope that was fun. A quick refresher of the information. Here is our leaderboard. So Kimberly, Theodore, and Dan, anytime that's good for you, come into the association office, let them know you want a prize and NMO, and we will get you to the people who get you the prizes. Thanks so much for participating in that quiz. I hope it was fun.
I always enjoy seeing how those answers play out. All right, so Lisa, we have one more screen, and that's going to be our Realtor Pledge. And then everybody, she does a screenshot because she'll post out in the Monday memo welcoming all of our new members. So Lisa, you want to we'll do the pledge first and then the picture?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So it's up on the screen. And normally if we do this in person, we kind of all stand up and raise our hand. All we need to do is just say this at the same time. So I've got it set up in separate lines, so we should be able to do this. So
unmute yourselves.
If you will, unmute yourselves. That's right. Unmute yourselves. So you're not, and we will begin together. All right. Not after me, but together. I am a realtor. We'll go together. I pledge to strive to honorable and abide by the golden rule. To seek to serve my community well and through it my country. To comply with the Realtor's Code of Ethics and to strive to conform my conduct to its aspirational ideals. To act honestly in all real estate dealings. To protect the individual right of real estate ownership and to widen the opportunity to enjoy it. To seek better to represent my clients by building my knowledge and confidence. Congratulations, you have completed new member orientation. You are realtors. You have the right to wear the realtor pin. And Lisa will take our pictures.
All right, so this goes out to 4,000 people on social media. Look good. If you do not want your picture, you can blank your screen out, but all the members, including the leadership, will welcome you. So we're going to count down to a 3, 2, 1. Ready to go.
I wonder if we can auto tune the pledge and add some beats behind it.
Life goal. All right. 3, 2, 1. All right, let me see how we did here. Let me take one more. Casey was looking away. Okay, one more time. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. We got it that time. All right, nobody's picking their noses. Perfect. And I will tag you and your brokerage in the Facebook post. So be sure to log on and share it and let everybody know you're a Four Rivers Realtor member now.
So remember, you've got new member orientation down, get the code of ethics done, and you still have to complete the MLS training. So either tomorrow in person or Friday It's a Zoom link, so you can go on Zoom and then get it there. You want to get with one of those. The last opportunity you would have is the last Friday of this month. You don't want to wait that long. Number one, you want to know how to use the system best. So get in tomorrow or Friday if you absolutely can.
Cool.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for
Thank
taking this
you.
time with us.
Have a great
Thank
day.
Bye,
Bye.
NCS.
Bye-bye.